Hello, everyone. Hello, Iris.
Good morning, Sam, Howard.
Oh, Howard, you're on mute.
There we go. How you doing? You good?
Very good, very good. It's been a while.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, Iris. Long time.
Nice to meet you. Yes. Heads up, I'm waiting for a package from Hola Prime and then for my webcam. So I might jump up, and that's why I'm located downstairs. So if I run out, you know what's happening. Because once I sit and take another, I'm in the middle of nowhere, so I have to catch that courier.
No worries. That's absolutely fine. Howard, you're looking very tanned. Have you gone on holiday by any chance?
Do you know what? Where I live here in Switzerland, it's like the Mediterranean. So and I'm one of these lucky people that tans quite well. So
good. Good. A bit of colour.
Looks like I've been somewhere exotic, but
it has. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, happy 4th of July to all the Americans viewers out there. If you're celebrating Independence Day. Funnily enough, I actually watched Independence Day, the movie, last night. I know it's a bit of a difference, Independence, but nonetheless, kind of fitting in a weird way. Maybe that's why they put it on. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, market-wise, the US market is obviously closed today. But we did have quite a sell-off on the S&P. It's been ranging for the last few hours now, but there was a very big sell-off. Probably, people exiting their positions, maybe, I don't know. But nonetheless, there was some movement. I don't know if we're going to get any more movement because it has literally been in a very tight range since around, last 2 hours or so. So, yeah, hopefully there is some movement. Maybe we can catch a trade. I wouldn't recommend really trading on a bank holiday like today, but sometimes there are opportunities. How about you guys? Any trades today?
Yeah. Well, I took a stab. I thought because obviously the move would have been in London time on the NASDAQ, but I did try a pre-market trade, but I just got out of it because I thought it's not going to happen now. So I did take a stab. I'm hoping that model will play out maybe later when market sort of opens at 9:30. Yeah, it had a few confluences, but it just didn't move. So it just went down, and I'm like, no. So I'm anticipating or a move up if that model plays out, and if not, I don't have anything else. It's just a small move that I have some levels marked, but that's it. And So
well, it'll be a nice chill live session. I think it's going to be a much more chill one rather than very heavily, trading focused. But which is fine, which is all good. What about you, Howard? Seen anything on the FX?
Bit of obviously trading, not a whole lot doing today on my side. Yesterday was non-farm payroll, so that's where the action was. Let me just show my screen just to show you a little bit of what we're looking at.
Let me just quickly have a look.
Go for it.
No, there's no one.
Right, one second. Let's try the, where are we now? 1 second. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Okay, so let's kick it off with Eurodollar. Let me know when you can see the screen.
Yep. You're up.
Cool. Okay, so I guess start off with short term first of all. Long term, obviously, I'm mega bull still. Always have been for many months. So for those that don't know, I use a lot of Elliott Wave, and the recent high on Eurodollar was 118.30. We've seen a corrective decline from the high to the low of yesterday, and that was kind of inspired by the non-farm payroll stronger than expected. So we had that kind of big decline, buying of the dollar kind of thing, selling of the euro. And since then, obviously, we bounced all the way back up, kind of just nibbled through the origin price a little bit after the figure came out. A pullback, didn't make a new low, made a higher low. And in the early European session so far, we've kind of just tested the origin price of non-farm payroll, and we've kind of backed off a little bit. So it's definitely, obviously, we've got a lot of people that are kind of long above the level, and technically you've got some broken supports here as well. So you've got this kind of broken support acting as resistance on these bounces. But I think that the low of yesterday was the corrective low, and that we will be making new highs probably going into next week. Obviously, it's a big holiday today, so I don't think we're going to see. And it's Friday, we're going to see anything explosive. But it may be one of these things where we come in on Monday and the Asian session, we're up here somewhere, and then we start to go through on Monday. So trading wise, what I'm doing is I've just got a buy stop in place just above this line, 170.25, 87 kind of thing. Should we get above there in the remainder of the session, I'll happily buy some and look for the move. But if not, I'll be looking to get in on Monday. Does that kind of thing make sense to you guys?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think Iris has got a bit of technical difficulty. She's just dropped out, but I'm sure she'll be back in a moment. But yeah, no, absolutely. I completely agree. So are you looking more today? You mentioned you put a buy stop. Are you looking more today just kind of to prepare yourself for next week, or?
Yeah, as I say, if it happens, then I'll be there. The buy stop will be triggered, but I don't think it will. I think we're just going to be stuck because obviously liquidity is drying up from now onwards, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So so I think we'll probably just be sort of static here for a bit, and the action will be seen probably in Asia, early Europe on Monday by the looks of things. So I think it really is one for next week, to be fair.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well. So that's that one. Let's just move across to sterling. So sterling's had a little bit of its own issues, obviously, with the wobbles with the Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, the other day. So we had this kind of, it topped out 137.88, 89, and again the decline from that high for me is broken down in three waves, which is always against the trend, A, B, and C. I can't make a 5-wave move out of this decline. And I think if you're using Elliott wave, it's all about 3s and 5s. Can you make a 5-wave move? Can you make a 3-wave move? And if you really can't make a 5-wave move out of it, it's most likely to be a 3, which is against the trend. And once you can identify the end of an ABC move, that tells you that's the end of the correction and that you're getting your buying boots on looking for new highs. So this is where the thing kicked off. That's non-farm. By comparison, non-farm was quite small, that decline there. So the bigger move really was the Chancellor news, the wobbles, and then we've basically retraced quite deeply after that move. So I think what happens eventually is we gravitate back up to this line above 137, and then we're making new highs probably next week. So again, I guess if you were brave, you could probably buy some down here, perhaps put a stop somewhere below this reaction low. But I'm kind of leaving it alone, to be honest, for the rest of the day. I'd rather come in on Monday and see a bit of momentum to the upside, if you see what I mean. Yeah,
no, I don't blame you at all. It's a tricky market, especially like you said, when the liquidity's dried up. I mean, even if you do enter on a trade, it can very quickly stall, and then you just get stuck in a range or something of that nature. So, it's without the liquidity, without active participants in the market driving it, it can be very. I mean, sometimes it can just nicely kind of trend, and when I say trend, I don't mean with much momentum, but kind of just trickle down or trickle up. But a lot of time you just get these really tight ranges, and then once you're stuck in that, Iris is back. Let me just add her. Hello, Iris.
I'm having some issues, so let me get back to you because I'm getting this is on my phone. I need to start everything back up on my laptop. I think we had some crash of the Wi-Fi here, so I'll get back to you because I want the laptop to be up and running again.
Sure, no problem.
Take your
time.
Okay.
I'll be back.
See you shortly. And also, I guess you've got the fact you've got a weekend, and who knows what can happen at the weekend. There could be some news that comes out, and
exactly
you're stuck over the weekend, and then you get a gap against you, that won't be too good. But yeah, so as with euro dollar, for me, I think it's really a case of a trade for next week, looking to buy once we get back up to 36.80 and we hold there. You know, we start to make higher lows and maybe an ascending triangle or something like that. So again, waiting to buy, but perhaps need to get into Sunday night, Monday morning to get into it. So that's that one. Onto dollar yen, which is here. So the yen has been a little bit, it's been doing its own thing. There's been quite a lot of yen weakness, so strength on the crosses. So this has been a little bit kind of quite punchy to the upside. But again, I think what we've seen is this kind of, we've had 5 waves down from 148 and a bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's the kind of direction of the trend. And then we've had a 3-wave rally, A, B, and C, which again, I think the high from yesterday was most likely the end of the corrective bounce. So the trend for me is down because it's making 5 waves to the downside and 3 waves to the upside. And that's really, if you're using Elliott wave, that's really what you're looking for, 3s and 5s. And again, obviously after the non-farm payroll, we've kind of retraced quite deeply. The origin for that one comes in at, where is it, 143.70 or so, 143.70. So still some way to go in terms of actually confirming the fact that we've stopped out all of these longs. And one of the things I do look at, apart from obviously Elliott waves and systematic stuff, is I look for news-related moves to be completely retraced. Because obviously non-farm payroll, you've got this knee-jerk thing where everybody jumps on board because they see a really good piece of news hit the screen, and you get a lot of people coming afterwards, and a lot of people up here are probably long and wrong. So that kind of sets the stage for the trap. And then once you get down here, then absolutely nobody can be on the right side of the market who bought after the number. So
that's it.
These trades, these kind of trap trades, are, news-related trap trades, are really potent in my opinion.
Oh no, absolutely. Because especially when it's like a news candle, because it's one candle in terms of structure, most people, if you are going to jump in, most people will probably put their stops below the news candle. And you're absolutely right. The moment it dips below that, all those longs at the top, because it's very hard to kind of, where can you put your stop loss in that news candle? You know, are you going to put it halfway? You're going to, I mean, you could do, I guess, like a Fibonacci or something, or some kind of mathematical way of calculating it. But generally speaking, in terms of structure, really it has to be below the news candle.
Yeah, and you've got this kind of like no man's land thing now, where you've got a lot of people that bought it up here who perhaps didn't buy instantly, and they're stuck because the market's come back down. And then I guess you've got people who perhaps were short within this range that are kind of holding it up. So there's a bit of two-way, but I think ultimately the trend wins out. And then once we get down here, then obviously push comes to shove, and we start to move down because these people are being squeezed out. So again, for Monday, really, I think for Monday, maybe not quite as aggressive as with sterling and with euro, because I think there's a little bit of latent yen weakness in there somewhere. The yen crosses have been quite strong recently. So dollar yen has been kind of, when the dollar rallies, dollar yen has kind of led the way a little bit. It wouldn't be at the top of my list in terms of selling, but I think eventually it will go to the downside. And that's that one on a short term. Onto gold. Let's see, where's my gold? There's my gold. That's it. So gold, a similar kind of idea there, in that we have just one second. So from the low 32.49 or so, we've had 5 up, followed by 3 down. So 1, 2, there's your big third, there's your 4th wave correction, and there's your kind of last push to the new high, and that's the end of the 5-wave sequence. So after 5 waves, you get an ABC, which is a 3-wave decline, this is pretty clear to me. Kind of 1, 2, and 3, which is ABC, and then up we go, and then we're starting to kind of stabilize, if you will. And again, that's your non-farm payroll that gave you that C leg down. And the origin for this is, I think, 33.50 or so. 33.50. So again, for me, we get back above 33.50, then that for me is a big trigger for the new highs for gold, because that'll be a case of first wave up, second wave down, and here we are in wave 3, blasting higher. And the major trend obviously is still quite positive. We can look at some of the bigger picture stuff a bit afterwards. Do you want to do some of your stuff, and we can come back, or
we can do,
or perhaps, or perhaps
Iris, do you want to? Is your laptop and everything working now?
Well, I got on. I always have a backup Wi-Fi router, because apparently the normal Wi-Fi, even though it's fiber, is down. So I'm on the backup. So let's hope that one stays up. Yeah. I'm still looking. Well, I can just go over my trade, what I was expecting and why, and let me share.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yes. Let me go to present, share screen. You can see it's really slow, right?
Still waiting for it to pop up.
We had quite a storm this morning here, so I think it's still not popping up. So everything is a little bit down, I think, not working as it should. Why is my window not showing? Here we go. There we go. I'm sorry. There we go. Okay. So, so Howard, I trade time-based models. I'm very much into time. So you see a lot of lines, and they are attached to time-printed candles, and they are extended. So I'll go to yesterday's. Let me just show. I have to add that I just have opening range gap, because I used yesterday's opening range gap for some analysis. That was, so yesterday's gap, the opening range gap is the gap between the futures close and the morning open. So 4:15 Eastern to 9:30 Eastern. So yesterday we had this gap, and it was totally unfilled. It just opened 9:30 and it went off the rails, right? We were only upwards. So my analysis for this morning was it touched exactly the 50% at 6:55. Then you see it touched exactly the 25%. So for me, it was like, you can see it's hovering here. So that's why I went to my model on the other screen. And these are the AMRP levels. Sam already has heard me talk about that. So this is AMRP low. That's exactly that level, that 655 level here around this area. Then the model that I was aiming for, it is called the 658 time. So that's printed here until the 312. Those two work in conjunction. But most of the time it happens in this model. This is a specific time-based model. They have names, but I won't bother you with that. And it also matches up with the first presented fair value gap of yesterday, and it's in the AMRP high level. But because I set through some drawdown, and at some point I thought, I don't see it happening right now, so I have to wait. So that's why I got out. And you can see, let me just get rid of this one here. You can see it's just, rejecting at the opening, and it's just rejecting. And now we have a new level, and you can see the new AMRP levels has gone down. So the probability of the ranges is getting smaller instead of bigger. So it's more likely to go down. As you can see, this level is going down. It's bigger, the AMRP low. And obviously the AMRP high goes in the 4 o'clock again if it goes higher. So I wouldn't be surprised if it would reject if it goes higher, that it doesn't get any further than this level. So my trade idea, I think I can throw that out of the window for now. Yeah, that's all I have. I don't have much to add today it doesn't give me a lot of, well, we have a 4 o'clock here, an older one that might be an interesting in AMRP level at 2.5. Yeah, so I still need more data to maybe form a trade. So I have one little loss on demo so far today.
It's okay. That's not too bad.
That's okay. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
what about
But
you?
yeah, I'll share my screen again. The market's just, I mean, it is, it's just ranging right now, like a really annoying range as well. I'm just looking at the numbers on the footprint right now. Maybe, you know, hopefully we get some kind of break of this range and something happen. I really hope it's not. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
all good.
perfect. So let's get my mouse. Here we go. So essentially, yeah, I mean, we did sell off, and then it's just been ranging. It looks like it's just about to break it now, so I'm just keeping my eye on it.
Yep.
But it could be a fake. I mean, I really want to see it start moving a bit. I don't just want to see like a little down and then potentially, you know, it starts going back into the range. And I kind of want to see a bit more just because this was really choppy. This area here. So the only thing I did spot was buyers are trapped. Right up here, the biggest number I could find on the footprint was this 249 right at the tip of this candle. So I drew a little box around it, and they haven't been able to break above that. So that's still giving me more of a bearish sentiment, obviously. But in terms of jumping in, I guess we could jump in at that spot, but there just wasn't enough movement. You know what I mean? And this range is really tight. You know, it's just a rubbish market. I'm totally honest. Like the numbers just aren't big, which is totally expected because obviously, you know, this is, you know, even the US Open. I mean, obviously the US is technically closed, but like the numbers are just tiny because there's just no volume in the market. So when there's no volume in the market, it's very hard to trade using order flow because, okay, we did get a bit of sell pressure come in, 390. I think that's the biggest number I've seen all day, 390, which is relatively below average on a normal day. Do you know what I mean? So,
especially in
like
this
319 really wouldn't excite you.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Especially on the US Open, that just wouldn't excite you normally. So, I guess if you treat it, if you factor that in and you kind of realize, okay, 300 is kind of the upper amount to expect, then you can kind of, you have kind of a range of what you could trade, right? But yeah, for me, it's just not convincing enough, you know. I need bigger numbers, otherwise I just don't feel comfortable jumping in. Sorry,
I was going to say, do you generally get anything decent on the 4th of July in terms of moves? Or is it like a fake out?
Not really. I mean, the market moved. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we've moved a lot actually today.
I mean, if you took a trade in London, I agree. It would be a beautiful trade, but it's hard. It was hard to enter, though, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, look, there was possibilities of jumping in. I did have a few very small scalps earlier today, but you know, I'm up 179 today, so not a lot. Like my lowest performing day by far. And I literally just scalped very small. I got into a short position, took a few points, got out, and pretty much it. But in terms of like being confident in a trade, I have very little confidence. Although I am bearish technically up until we get to this kind of box area here, then I'll start looking at bullish moves. It's just the numbers are too small. There's just not enough. It's just not enough volume for me. Which
I agree.
Because if the volume dries up, we could very easily, like, okay, say I jump in for a short now. Okay, I'll say, oh look, it's broken it, got some big numbers. Say you jump in for a short. That could be as low as it could go, and it would just start ranging again. Do you know what I mean? There's just not enough oomph there. You know, not enough people actually trading essentially in order to maybe continue this going down. I mean, earlier today we had this kind of trickling down, but again, that was more just. I mean, the numbers weren't big, but it was
It
more
just trickled
just, I
down.
guess, a
Yeah.
lot of people taking profit. Yeah, it's just kind of like phasing out because there's just not enough, and that can happen, but it's hard to predict something like that, right? Because if the way I trade using order flow and the footprint, if the numbers aren't there, I can't like if the numbers there's nothing here telling me, oh look, the market's going to push down. We've got all generally relatively small numbers. And then a tiny little peak, 178, 160, a tiny little jump in sell pressure, but it did move the market down quite a bit. And we've just had kind of these small numbers and they have been effective. But many other times you would have the same kind of numbers and they just haven't been as effective at pushing the market down. So it's a bit of a gamble trading a market like this.
And she went up again. Did ES go up again? Because we just had a big spike on NQ and to the upside. And it's,
exactly my point.
Exactly, yeah. Maybe
yes, there was some sell pressure that came in.
Yeah,
but
I'm just
it didn't have much follow through.
Go up a little bit. Yeah, it's just not very exciting, is it? Yeah. But then again, I'm still like interested. Like if I would go journaling, like how could I have traded? Because I want like either a breaker or something that I can lean on, and I can frame it mechanically. And just that dripping down makes it really hard. Even though if I really dive deep and I reverse engineer, I can always find something. But then again, it's like, okay, you just get in, and then if you get in at midnight Eastern, from that moment it just trickled down. And maybe that's for next year, 4th of July. I'm like, okay, you know what? If I see midnight, I'm just gonna go. I wait like after half an hour and see what's happening, and then it's gonna be like a full London trade. You get in, you have a tight stop, and you just let it drip. I think it might be interesting to really dive. I might journal and backtest that. Maybe look into 4th of July how markets have gone. Because I'm actually getting in now in a demo trade. I'm going to do my trade. This is actually my trade is playing out now. Let me just.
Okay. Do you want to? I'll put your screen up real quick.
Hold on. Oh, you still have it up? Well, I can't. I need to. I need to open up my demo. I need to.
Oh, okay.
Get my. But anyway, it's the same. You know what? It doesn't really matter. I'll just show it again. It's just so I would have gotten. I would have market ordered in now again because I missed the part of the move. But again, it is so what it needed to go down in the 658, and it retested it. So now I expect it to go to the 312. So this level, can you see it? 975, 22975. Yep. So that will be my trade. My stop loss will be just below, exactly below here. So let's say I would have market ordered in here. Actually, I was a little bit later. So, but for pretending sake, I ordered somewhere here in. My stop loss will be here, just below, because if it goes below the 658, it invalidates my trade. My breaker has been activated. So here I have a valid breaker now. So let me just highlight that. Oh, no, yeah, my stop is going to move now just below this line because my breaker. So let me go to the 1 minute. Yeah, let's go lower time frame. I'm sorry, Howard. You must be. Oh my God, so many lines on that on her.
No, you're good. You're good. Look, if it means something to you, then go for it.
Yeah, you must. What is she talking about? This woman.
Howard, you should see her other charts. She has a few different models. Yeah. There was one which is it's like an algorithm.
I trade. I have many. I live in Fib City as well, but I haven't shown you all my 1 minute breaker. Hold on, it's a plus breaker, so a bullish breaker. So you see the breaker is it's activated here. Then it's retesting it now. So technically, I could also get in here, but because this is the first presented fair value gap, it's like exactly yesterday's trade that I showed. Remember, retest. I entered here, and then I am aiming for 312. Some calculations I had gave me only 2666. So I might, if we are because the AMRP levels have lowered a little bit, so I'm a little bit careful today, but I would wait for just to see the behavior around here. But I might just exit. I set the 4 o'clock. Yeah, so it might be just this trade. Let me see if the RR is good enough. It's just pretending today. Okay, let me just see if I am good. Well, officially I entered here, and then we had this one. Still 4R. Yeah, okay. If I just play to 4 o'clock, that is then 4. And if I would play it from the breaker, that would be my safest play. So then I would really wait for the confirmation, which I normally do. Then this would be my trade. 2.25 risk to reward.
Nice.
So this will be my safest trade, but I could take the inversion fair value gap as well as a trade, but this is the safe trade.
Cool.
Yeah,
just a quick suggestion. There's a lot of kind of terminology, a lot of kind of jargon. That's not a bad thing, but maybe there should be some kind of glossary for people, because I'm sure that the average person that's looking at this is not understanding a lot of it. So just a thought.
I agree. Yes, I agree, because I have a lot of I'm very very time based, and I've got a lot of different. I try to explain it when I'm on the live session, but then again, I think it's a good idea what you said. I think that's a really good idea to do.
Not just for yourself, but for everybody, really. Because
exactly. I don't need it, but it's. I think it's good to have that. Maybe I think for all of us, right? Because for me, I hear different things as well. I think that's a really good idea.
That's a great idea. Yeah,
I like that. Yeah, we'll work on that. Yeah, so you see, it's already. Normally, it would just. Yeah.
Hey, Robert's back. Hello, Robert.
Even
good
today.
morning to you.
Hey, Rob.
Hi,
Happy
Robert.
4th of July as well. So I'm looking at.
Would you take a trade in this area on the S&P 500, Sam?
I wouldn't yet. I would want to just let it break the top of the range, because there are trap buyers at that top. Whether they're still in the market, I don't know. It's very hard to track them because the numbers are also small. But I would want it to break that area, come back, retest into it, bit of buy pressure, then absolutely there'll be a buy. But in terms of structure, in terms of how the candles look, if you look at the last 15-minute candle, I don't know if it looks the same on NQ, but here on ES, huge long lower wick, a really, really nice kind of, I think they call it a shooting star or something. I'm not really into candlestick patterns, but for people who are, really nice candle. So, and again, it's played out. It's taken the liquidity at the bottom of the range. There's trapped sellers at the bottom of that long wick. Got 149 contracts right at the bottom, which is, for this market, not a bad number. So, yeah, I mean, all in all, we've had some heavy buying come in. In fact, if I share my screen real quick, and I can just go over what I'm on about. So I'm talking about this candle here on the 50-minute. I'm sure a lot of people who like candlestick patterns probably love this candle right here. In terms of the footprint, we have got some trap sellers, 149 right at the bottom. We saw buy pressure come in, 106, 127. They were successful at pushing the market up. Only thing I don't like is that 172 right at the tip again. And then we have a little buildup of buy contracts stacked up and a bit of sell pressure coming in. But that doesn't mean it will go back down. These sellers could very easily get trapped. We're on the point of control as well. But for me to enter a buy, I would want it to break, this area here where there's trap buyers at the top. because this is where, you know, the top of the range is. It kept failing to break this area. I'd wanted to see it get broken. So ideally, what I would love to see for a buy is it breaks through, kind of comes back, dips in, and then a bit of buy pressure comes in again to get that continuation push. So that would be that would be what I would be waiting for. So I would set an alert just above that area. So it will tell me if we do break above it, and then I can keep my eye on it. But all in all, I mean, it's definitely looking more in the buyer's favor at this moment in time. If I'm just looking at the order flow for the last, 20 or so minutes, it's definitely looking more on the buy favor. So I think it's pretty good. And if we look again, we had these sellers come in.
Yeah.
These sellers came in, but look, they're struggling. They're not able to push it down much further. That's another point to the buyers, I would say. So yeah, we'll let it play out. I think, but then again, it could just start ranging. This is the thing with low liquidity and low volume days. It could just start ranging and go back into this range again,
exactly.
which it is back in the range, and just do nothing for the next hour.
Well, this is a macro time, so between 9:50 and 10:10, it does run a script that it go to liquidity or balances out imbalances. So if something would happen, I would I hope it happens in this macro. Otherwise, it's just like, okay, whatever. Yeah.
It's a tough market, especially in the equities market, or the indices, if you can call them that. Just because the stock market is literally closed. It just makes it, I guess, with like Forex or currencies, I mean, like the pound, for example, yes, the US market's not trading, but you still have, other countries and other participants all kind of participating. But the main, I mean, especially on indices like the S&P or NQ, when the US market's closed, it's, it really is a big participant in that market.
I guess it could be a bit like pushing on strings sometimes, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But normally this would be a nice holiday for us NQ and ES traders. We can just take the day off, have a nice long weekend normally. So not impossible to trade. Still, you can do it, but yeah, just don't expect huge results. Be very, realistic in your P&L.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's what's for me leading.
I think you've got a good trade going, I think.
Yeah, I think it will definitely go to the 4 o'clock line, maybe not to the 3:12, but that will be really awesome if it still does that today. I would like, okay, that will be really nice. But let's see. It's interesting to see how far it will go up, if it goes up at all. Because, these are stacked root candles, and stacked root candles means a lot of, well, you can see it here already, consolidation. It means it will have a hard time breaking through through that area. So
just we had Craig in the chat says good morning to you, Craig. I hope you're doing well wherever in the world you are. Craig. Let us know.
Hiya.
What are you trading, Greg?
When's the crypto update? I believe, let me just double check for you there. Paul is our, yes. So in about an hour's time, there'll be Paul Pico, our crypto coach. He will be, he'll be live. So in the next session, you'll have one. You'll get to see crypto with Paul. I can give you if you tell me your time zone, I can give you the exact time zone of when that starts.
Looks like Bitcoin's under a bit of pressure this afternoon.
Oh, not again. I don't even want to. I'm not going to look.
We can have a look at Bitcoin actually and some of the cryptos. But Paul is definitely your man for that. He's our crypto expert.
Highlander.
He knows everything about crypto. I'm pretty sure he knows who started Bitcoin. That's how much he knows.
Exactly, yeah.
Satoshi.
He probably knows him.
he probably he probably knows Satoshi,
Yeah.
the
Well, it's very
unknown
funny.
crypto founder.
Here in South Africa, they're really promoting paying with Bitcoin, with basically Satoshis. But we have like a Plettenberg Bay. It's like it's near Cape Town. There's like so many vendors, so many shops already presenting it, and they have a big community. But also in this little town, there are a lot of, and I'm like, really? Okay, for me, if I have Bitcoin, I don't have Bitcoin. I would not use it for a cup of coffee, even though Satoshi. But yeah, it's I don't know. Do they do that in London and Switzerland? Are they promoting paying with Bitcoin in?
Yeah,
I mean,
not so much. There's quite a big kind of hub for Bitcoin brokerages and things like that. But paying for stuff in Bitcoin, not so much.
yeah.
Okay. Well, we might be ahead in something
it
here.
is a thing. It's a thing, but it's not officially promoted. You know, a lot of you will find a huge crypto community. You know, people, every other person kind of knows about it. It's probably traded a little bit, bought a few coins. There's a lot of crypto talk in the UK, but it's not like if you go to a shop and try pay with crypto, it'll never happen. Like unless it's like I don't know, like some small independent shop, maybe some guy who loves crypto, maybe they will accept it. But yeah, it's you couldn't actually buy anything really with Bitcoin in the UK.
There is a request from Nitaga Ismail. He wants gold. Maybe Howard, is that the gold? Would that be the same gold you went over?
Let's have a look. 1 second.
Let's do that.
Okay.
And also Bitcoin. Craig, I will do Bitcoin afterwards, okay?
Okay, 1 sec. There we go.
Okay, let me just flip the screens. All right, you're up.
Okay. So I guess big picture, great big uptrend is still in play. I think that on the weekly chart here, we had this ABC down, which ended at 31.20 in a bit, going back a number of weeks. And we had a kind of a push higher, retest to the high and a pullback. So we're stuck in a range on gold, which for me, I think is a bullish continuation pattern. That's probably the corrective low. I think we would have, if this was going to be a double top or something similar to it, we would have continued perhaps last week and started to crack this reaction low. But no, this week we've kind of based and started to stabilize. So I think we're still quite positive on gold on a multi-day, multi-week perspective. There's the kind of ABC down from the high. This looks like a first wave up. This looks like probably a second wave down. And then we've had this kind of like nice recovery from perhaps the corrective low. That looks like the corrective low of this sequence, like a 1 and a 2. So now what we're doing, I think, is we're just correcting that first leg up. So I think we looked at this a little bit before where we had so that's the top. There's your ABC down. And from here, so here's your 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's your first impulsive wave up. And this is your corrective wave down, ABC. So that to me looks like the bottom of the correction, 33.11.5. So I think we're just basically chopping, as I say, maybe going into Monday, perhaps Monday, Tuesday, when we start to see the gravitational pull of the swing high. So very short term, it looks like maybe 33.25, 33.45 holds before we break up. So my strategy really is looking to buy on the break to the upside. So we've got 33.45, and then we've got the trigger of the NFP at 33.50. So to really looking for the market to get back above those points, and that will give me my entry into the move, which should take us up to new highs. So yeah, I think we're quite positive, but in the very short term, we're just going nowhere really. In a nutshell.
So how can I ask you? So there's also like the GC gold chart, right? Do you also trade that chart or just this Forex pair chart?
Yeah, obviously the spot is the driver. Futures, they'll have gaps and stuff like that. I guess if we're doing stuff on a sort of intraday basis, and you're trading futures themselves, and obviously you're going to be looking at the futures, the COMEX futures probably. But for me to get the directional bias and everything,
okay.
Yeah, I'd be using
okay.
Yeah, if I were trading futures.
Yeah, I'm sort of interested in start to trade gold, but then I would go to the GC chart. So I'm sort of like I'm not totally not into Forex. I'm just curious if it has what the relation is between this and the GC chart, but it is correlated, obviously.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I think the more longer term stuff you do, then it's better to stick to the spot chart. But if you're doing short term, like 1 minute tick charts or 5 minutes or whatever, then I guess it doesn't really matter so much, and because you're not worried about gaps and differences between spreads and everything. So, so yeah, short term it's just going nowhere really. But I think ultimately we're going to be breaking up to new highs for the swing. So just getting the buying boots on, but probably on Monday.
Sounds good. Sounds really good. I'll go ahead and show Bitcoin. Let's add that to stage for Craig. All right. So Bitcoin, like again, I'm more of a scalper, but I will try look at more of a longer intraday / swing trade kind of perspective. So I'm just going to jump up to the hourly chart. Wait for the volume profiles to kick in. Taking a bit of time. There we are. So first thing I would always do is measure the legs on the volume, right? So we had a nice leg up here. I'm going to measure that, and I'm just looking for any gaps, and also the point of control. So we had a huge drop off in volume. Here's the point of control, massive drop off right there. So that's going to be like an area where I'll be surprised it will break. And it did get very close to it, and then it just started shooting up. I'm going to do the same with this leg, essentially, all the way to the top. And then again, let me just get rid of the daily volume profile. And then just look where's like a big drop off in volume or a gap in volume. And we don't really have it so much here. Biggest one was kind of around here, which it kind of stopped. So I say around this area here, kind of the biggest, which kind of did hold it off. You see it rejected, but it eventually blew right through. So what I would be looking for in the short term for a good trade is see it come back into this area and then potentially short the market. Now, where you want to target, if you're being very, what's the word? If you're being very confident, you can target these lows again, back down to here. Or you can look for the obvious ones like this, maybe take partial profits at this low here. There's a bit of a spike in volume there. So really, I would say this would be kind of the lowest I would comfortably want to hold on like an intraday / swing position for Bitcoin. But again, entirely up to you. After that, like, do I think it will break this area here? I couldn't tell you until we get there. Very hard. You have to look at, the footprint. You got to look at the volume, how it's being played out. But that would be kind of the trade setup I'll be looking for. If I had to pick a trade on Bitcoin, I would look for something like this, and then have my stop, just a bit above, and then potentially target here as TP1, and then like hold on maybe down to here. If I'm feeling that, there's a lot of momentum in the actual trade. So again, I'll be looking at the volume during the trade. Are the sellers really pushing it down? Are they being effective? Is there a lot of absorption going on? All those stuff matter. So, because that's just a style I trade. I look at the trade in the moment, and I never walk away. I kind of stare at the chart while I'm in a trade, and always updating my kind of my decision-making process. So that would be, in fact, maybe in this session, it might, I doubt it, but maybe if it does, I'll set an alert here. We could potentially have a trade on Bitcoin. Another thing I should check is if it's actually been already retested, because I'm looking at the hourly chart. Sometimes it does No, so it hasn't actually been retested yet. So that would be, yeah, if we see it kind of, drift up into this area, definitely worth probably getting in for a short potentially. I don't know if you can see the footprint on Bitcoin. Now, the problem with the volume on Bitcoin is it grabs the volume. So this is from Coinbase, right? So it can only see the volume traded in on Coinbase, right? It's not factoring in Binance, Kraken, all the other exchanges that Bitcoin's available, right? So that's why the volume on the footprint, this is why I don't trade Bitcoin, is almost pointless, right? Because you're not getting the full scope of the volume of the market, right? You're like someone in Coinbase sold 18, 18, I don't know whether one is a lot or a contract or a Bitcoin itself. I truly don't know what actually the measurement is in crypto, but someone sold 18, let's just say Bitcoins. Maybe it was Bitcoins right there. So someone did a big trade there, but you don't know what happened in Binance. You don't know what happened in Kraken. You know what happened in all the other exchanges where Bitcoin is traded. So that's the main reason I do not trade Bitcoin, because my one major measurement tool is kind of useless. The footprint is kind of useless. Unless I can get some kind of program that combines all the exchanges and puts it in a footprint, that would be great. Then absolutely, I would 100% be looking at trading Bitcoin. So all I can really do is look at, oh no, that's the S&P. All I can really do is just look at the structure and the overall volume, the tick volume, to kind of find, where are areas, where are gaps in volume, because that kind of will still be roughly the same, because I think this is measured on tick, not measured on contracts. So that will be still relatively kind of okay. But yeah, that would be my Bitcoin analysis for this moment in time.
Sorry to interrupt. Just a quickie.
Yes,
I've just hit my trigger on euro dollar, so I just bought some. Let me just show my screen.
Oh,
so this is holding.
Yeah,
up. This will be holding over the weekend as well. Okay, let me know if you can see that. You got it?
Yep, it's up.
Excellent. Okay, yeah. So basically, that's the non-farm payroll origin that we're back up again. So it rejected it. So when non-farm payroll came out, we had that knee-jerk kind of bongy jump down, all the way back up again, rejected just above it, back down again, up again, rejected from it in early Europe, and then we've had this kind of little ABC type decline from the European high, and here we are again. So the people are kind of pushing it up. It's gravitated all the way back up to this origin point. So you can imagine that anybody that sold euro dollar on or after non-farm payroll are now underwater. So for me, the trap's in, and this is the location to look for renewed euro strength. My stop is just below 1740, so a 45 pip stop, and looking for new highs basically. So let's see how we do. So I think this is one to hold over the weekend.
Very nice. Very nice. I'm amazed. Two trades in today in the live session. Despite
not really.
Wouldn't expect it, would you?
No, but awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Robert said he shorted NQ.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was already stopped out by a wick, so it was a manipulation wick. So my trade would have already been stopped out. Just a wick, and then the body stayed above, but it's sort of like really, it looks very heavy. But then again, I wouldn't trust. I don't trust it at all.
Yeah, I'm looking at.
I'll just
let me just pull up my chart. So now 200 quite big, another 81, 65. We're getting a bit bigger numbers trapped at the top, these buyers. And then we had, I'm assuming, and if you look really carefully, right, you can actually match this up quite easily. So this is actually almost one of the better examples, believe it or not. So remember these buyers: 106, 127, 172, 168, 147, and then a few kind of numbers. These are those buyers getting stopped out. As that wick came down, a lot of these buyers in this push up basically were stopped out right here. And you can almost see the numbers match up. So give or take, you know. So those buyers are out the market. More buyers tried to jump in when they saw that wick. And you can see the logic, you know, people saw, oh, look, manipulation. It came straight back up. Oh, it's going to leave without me. Bit of FOMO buying right here. They bought.
Exactly.
Got trapped now. And this is the thing, like, when there isn't much volume in the market, you can very easily get trapped, very easily be manipulated, because it's easier to push the market wherever the hell you want, because there's less volume. Do you know what I mean? So with volume kind of comes protection in a weird way, because, all right, if they want to manipulate the market, it's going to take a lot more than a few hundred contracts to kind of move, you know, or it's going to, because there's so many people trading, you know, you kind of have that safety in numbers in a weird way. But yeah, but really interesting, actually. That's a very clear example. Normally it's not that clear. You're going to have to do a bit of mental math.
This footprint, would you use this more for just short-term scalping, or would you also use it for longer-term analysis and longer, like really day trades for over like a few hours, or maybe even swing trading? Or do you mainly use this for short-term scalping?
So realistically speaking, it can really only be used short-term and scalping.
Okay.
Because what happened, you know, if you're looking at trades, you know, or areas in the footprint traded like yesterday or day before, there's a good chance that those people have already left the market. Now, it might be like if you see a trap that happened yesterday, imagine this is yesterday, right? Imagine this candle happened yesterday and you saw, oh, trap buyers. Those buyers are long already been liquidated. They're already out the market. So that trap is no longer in play. It really only matters in the immediate 5, 10, 15, maybe an hour, 2 hours, depending how far the market moves. But it really only matters in the short term. The overall volume, though, does matter, because the volume profile is basically telling you areas where people like to trade and where they don't like to trade, right? So that generally holds true even in, you know, days, sometimes months, hell, even years, sometimes it holds true. You know, if an area was heavily traded a month ago and was like a really heavy traded area a month ago, there's a good chance when we get back into that area, people will see that as fair value and trade again in that area. So the volume profile kind of stretches for long. You can do long-term, short-term. It's quite flexible, but the footprint really only more shorter-term scalps, I would say.
Interesting. Yeah, it's very interesting for short-term scalping, to add that to my toolbox. So.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it never hurts to add the footprint to, you know.
Hold on.
Especially if you, sorry. Oh, no. Package has come. No?
I just don't want to miss this one. And it's so late. It's 4:30 almost. So it's quite late. They don't come until after 5. And it's so frustrating because I'm waiting a long time for both of them. And Hola Prime also wants that package here.
I can imagine. Yeah, of course. Craig says, thanks, Sam, for the BTC update. You're welcome, Craig. Let me know if you want to see any other instruments analyzed. We're more than happy to do it in the live session. It's a bit of a slow day, so yeah, you'd actually be helping us out.
slow day all round. Slow day all round. It's only Bitcoin that seems to be moving.
Yeah, funnily enough. Crypto, yeah, it has a mind of its own. Crypto traders, they don't follow the rules. They'll trade on Saturday, Sunday, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If there's money to be made, you can count on the crypto boys to be making it. So
it's funny because people say, you know, is it trade like the dollar? Does it trade like the stock market? And you know, maybe it just does its own thing sometimes.
Absolutely. Yeah. But let's see what other markets can we look at. Did you have a look at gold already? We did gold, didn't we? Let's have a look at gold. I haven't looked at gold. Gold is still something that terrifies me. I think I've been burnt too many times by gold to kind of to enjoy it.
Right?
Gold just terrifies me.
Did you try the micro
Yeah,
gold?
just the gold futures.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
gold.
don't think I have. Just gold futures. Yeah.
It's quite a lumpy contract than the normal one, isn't it? It's quite big.
Sorry, Howard.
I think the gold normal contract's quite
you cut
big.
off, Howard. I can.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So no, I was just saying that I think on the future side, the
I've
gold
never really traded gold.
Yeah, it's a big one, like crude.
Absolutely. I think there's about a 5-6 second lag. So if I speak over you or look like I'm ignoring you, I'm not. It's just it takes a while for me to actually hear it on my end.
Don't get traumatized
Right, so
again
with
now,
gold,
Sam. Over the weekend.
No, I should be okay. I'll
I'll
never trade it. I'm happy with the S&P. I will never trade gold again. I don't need that stress in my life. But
it's the bad X.
Okay, so there's really only two gaps of volume on that leg. One right here, and a really small one right here. And both have been tested in yesterday. I guess that was NFP, or sorry, non-farm. What was it? Employment change? Yeah.
Yeah, non-farm.
It's technically not NFP, but you know what I mean. Yeah. So and that was that. But short term, I really don't see much on gold short term. I guess I can use the only gap I see today is right here. A tiny little area there, which it's kind of been rejecting on many times. And then there's a gap, right here of volume today. So it's kind of wedged between two of them. What could happen? I don't know. I would treat it as a range at this moment in time. For the short term, I would treat gold as a range and anticipate that it's going to kind of, do this until eventually one of these areas will break. I will be more inclined to say it will more likely go up just because you have this kind of area here. But again, that's almost a complete guess. I wouldn't know until it happens. I mean, we have more gaps below than we do above, which kind of shows, I guess, a bit more support. But yeah, right now, a tight range between two areas. There wouldn't be anything for me here. I wouldn't want to trade anything there. Robert goes USD JPY. Yeah, we could do USD JPY. Let's do USD JPY.
Go for it. I looked at it before, but I can always go back again after you've. You go first, huh?
Okay, cool, awesome. USD JPY. Let's have a look. All right, let's zoom out. We've got the hour. The last leg was this push up here. Get the volume profile. Let's have a look. It's very slow. Don't know why it's. Come on.
Yeah, they're on holiday.
Why is that not working? No volume data. This CMC markets doesn't have volume data. Okay, that's fine. FXCM surely does. It's only tick volume, so I don't know why it's so difficult. I mean, I guess they don't track tick volume data, but that's fine. Let's try FXCM is a bit better. There you go. They're giving us a bit of volume. All right. Well, we had a huge gap that was filled, and we're kind of in it. There's nothing on this area. Got the point of control here. I would. Okay, that's. So then, when I'm in a situation like that where there's nothing on that area, I will then look at the leg on the other side, the most recent, so this big one, and see have we reject. Okay, yeah, there we go. So nice gap right here. So we rejected off here. So I will be now more bearish than bullish on USD JPY up until, well, actually it could even go down to these lows potentially. But if I had to target a spot, it would be this area right here, this little gap. Not really an entry at this moment in time, just because we're kind of dead in the middle of it. Your entry was really quite yesterday. About this time yesterday was really your entry for that. But what I can do, let me see the daily. Okay, we can always look at the daily and see the little micro areas. So we got a little small gap right here where the market just kind of gapped right through. We did just test it and reject it. So there could be potential for a short. But whether that will hold all the way down, you know, so in terms of scalping, there is potential for a short, maybe back down to here. Again, now I can't see the volume footprint. So it's very hard to see any, you know, are there trap buyers? Because there is no volume data for Forex because it's decentralized. So I can only look at tick volume, and tick volume in terms of the footprint is.
Have you got Japanese yen futures? Yeah. That might help. JY.
Probably. I've never traded the yen futures. Do you know? Here it is. I know. Do you know? Is it J?
JY.
I know CAD is JY. Ah, there we go. Perfect. Okay. Oh wow. All right, this is looking messy. Why? No, something's not right here. It's only okay. It's only trading the Asian session.
Gold. It says gold on top, and then that's your.
That's another chart, no?
No, that's the chart here. Sorry, I have two charts always open.
Okay, I was like, huh?
So yeah, JYP. Are you sure this is it? Because this is.
Actually, try 6J for CME.
Yeah, Japanese
6J.
yen futures. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, 6J.
All right, let's have a look. 6J would be, yeah, because there's always normally a number. It's like 6E is exactly. Euro and so forth. 6J.
Yeah,
that's the one. CME. Here we go. I was going to say, I was like, that doesn't look right. That one. Okay, this is much better. All right, now I can actually see. Here we go. Let me do 6J. Japanese yen. Ooh, okay. We actually have proper. All right, this is good. So the area, where did I have it? This is the hourly. Let's drop down to the 15-minute. Okay, Forex. See, this is why tick data and contract data actually looks completely different. So contract data, the gap is right here. So I wouldn't want to short it until it actually breaks that area. But there's another one there which looks quite dangerous. Let me look at the footprint if I see anything. Yeah, no, I would be more short term. I would be more looking to buy. I mean, right away you spotted trap sellers at the bottom here, right?
Sam, Robert says use Owenda anywhere. Data.
Owenda, isn't that though CFD?
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're looking.
It's okay. I've got the CME now data, so I'm happy with this. So, all right. So today we did have trap buyers right at the top here. We had trap buys. They're probably out the market a long time ago now. They've probably got stopped out. And now there's a trap on sellers. You can just see quite heavy volume came in, and then people got in for shorts and were trapped. So I would be, in terms of scalping, I'll be looking more, and that lines up with this gap here. I'll definitely be looking potentially, you know, to get back to the point of control if we caught that. Potentially a trade kind of like that I would be looking at short term. I think it will definitely probably get to the point of control. Whether it will go all the way back to the highs, we just have to kind of follow it in real time and see if that buy pressure is still effective. Because they are getting absorbed at the same time. Like even when they, you know, get a bit more aggressive, 94, you can see they're getting absorbed by the sellers. So there is sell pressure in the market. But ultimately, for a scalp, I'll definitely be more bullish short term. That will be my yen
bearish dollar yen,
analysis.
bullish yen futures, bearish dollar yen.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because it's reversed, of course. I'm just looking at the
other way around.
I was wondering. I was like, wait a minute.
Hang on. Am I bullish or bearish?
You're absolutely right. It's USD JPY. It's not JPY USD, of course.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. So the tick data is actually correct then. The tick data is actually completely fine. So yeah, if you're trading USD JPY, do the opposite of what I just said, essentially.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
So Sam, what's your plan for the weekend?
I have no plans. The weather's nice, so I'm sure I'll find something to do, but no plans otherwise. What about yourself, Iris?
Well, I'm getting some help with the cleaning, so I'm getting a new household lady coming to help me. So I have to be here tomorrow. Nice. Then I have to do some preparation for Hola Prime things, which is on a very tight deadline. So I'm sort of like going to dedicate my weekend to just things I really need to do around here. And what about you, Howard?
Well, I'm in sunny Switzerland, so I live by the lake, so there's lots of barbecues at the weekend. So that'll be something to look forward to with a lot of friends. One of my really good friends is moving back to Holland, so we're having a bit of a farewell for her. So I think that'll be tomorrow. Not sure about Sunday yet, but obviously getting prepared for Monday, for Monday's trading really on Sunday. The weekend's usually quite a good time just to sort of get your head into gear and see what you did last week, and then prepare for next week as well. So
exactly,
it's always good. It's always good, I think, to take an hour or something just on when it's really quiet, the markets are not moving, you're not being pushed and pulled around, you know.
Yeah, I love journaling. I have a thing with journaling. I have I don't think many people journal the way I do. So I really take in the weekend. I really also do like a weekly over the weekly models and things like that. So yeah, but it really helps to sort of at some point, Sam, we talked about that one during our streams. Even though you start seeing things in certain instruments if you do that, and even sometimes you just don't know. It's just you get like these hunches, and you can't really define it yet because it's not a model, but and then okay, I have to dive deeper, and then you can maybe make it a model or something. But yeah, I don't want to be a nerd too much, but I do like I try not to be too much in the charts in the weekends, because during the week I'm really in the charts a lot. Yeah, there's life outside the charts too.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I just had an alert trigger on S&P.
Yes.
I think it's just broken up above that area. So sadly, that little manipulation that you got stopped out on, that was brutal. No need for it, but it's one of those days.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what it tells me? if I look at the full candle, the 658, if I would have put my stop at the first time when I went in, I put my stop just below. Remember, I said, oh, I'm going to move my stop to under the breaker. But if I would have left my stop under the 658 full box, it would not have stopped me out. Every time when I move my stop, I get stopped out. Last time on stream, remember, it happened as well. I always get punished for moving my stop. My first plan is always do not move your stop. Every time I do it, I get punished. And again, oh, look, it hit exactly. Show. Okay, put it on screen, my one.
I'll put you up. There you go.
Again, guys, I just, I love the 4 o'clock time. Do you see where it ticked to?
Yeah.
Boom. I love
Really
you,
nice. Yeah.
I love you. You are a little bit naughty today, but it played out, but I got stopped out. But I would have gotten back in. Yeah.
Iris refers to NQ as her boyfriend.
There you go.
Howard. Yeah. Okay. Okay, guys. I think, I'm single at the moment, and imagine having a date with me, and I'm at some point seeing someone, and we're talking, and I'm like, do you have something to talk that is attached to a chart? No, but it's really it's quite difficult when you're into trading, and when you meet someone that is totally not. They're very intimidated by it, or they think you're a scammer. I noticed that on one of those apps.
That's the big
one. And what do you do? And I'm like, oh. And sometimes you read these things. I'm not on it. I'm just too bored with it, to be honest. And then they, you see no scammers or people that are into trading. I'm like, oh, they get, people are probably they get scanned by that. I'm like, okay, what can I tell them? I'm in finance. What do you do then? And I'm like, okay, well, I just don't know. And it's
No, you're 100% right. I mean, before COVID, I remember. When I told people, oh yeah, I'm a trader, I trade, blah 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 blah. Most people didn't know what a trader was at that time. For the most part, it was a bit more unheard of. And then when they found out, and I told them, oh, I look at different currencies, blah blah blah. Like, oh wow, yeah, you must be really smart. Like, they were amazed by it, right? After COVID, when this boom happened and everyone, was at home and just started getting into trading. Tell people you're a trader now, instantly you're like, oh yeah, okay, you're scamming Bitcoin or something, and I'm like, no, you don't understand. It's not that. Like, you got a course to sell me? I'm like, no,
exactly, yeah.
There's no course, no signals. I'm not. Do you know what I mean? I just do it.
But also banks, especially because I moved to South Africa from the Netherlands, and then I wanted to do some offshore banking, and then they, you have to show. And then the moment you say crypto, that was like a year ago. Oh my God, I was blacklisted, and it's like they're like, oh no, so we don't want no, and I'm like, why? I mean, what did I? And then somebody told me, did you tell them about your crypto portfolio? And I said, yeah, but I'm just being honest, and I pay my taxes and blah blah blah. No, that's a problem, and but now it's changing. But the moment you said crypto, oh my God, it was like
red flags.
You're red flagged, yeah. Trader, crypto portfolio. No. Move to South Africa, which is also,
very dodgy, yeah.
Well, yeah, in terms of financial markets, they are sort of like on the list for, So yeah, I guess. But
wow.
Whereabouts are you in South Africa?
So I'm originally based in Hoedspruit. There's where I bought my stand. So I love the bush. I came to here to do voluntary work, and I trade at night because of the time difference. Then my house plan didn't go as planned. So then I thought I'm going to move around. So then I was 3 months in Nature's Valley in the Eastern Cape. I don't know if you know that.
Not sure.
And now I moved to Mtunzini, to KwaZulu-Natal, where I signed a year lease. So I'm now here for a year.
Ah, cool.
It's a combination of beach and bush. So I have both. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I fell in love with South Africa, even though it has its issues. So as I'm Dutch, but I don't see myself going back to the Netherlands anytime soon. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've got a lot of South African friends here in Switzerland. A lot of them.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, a lot of South Africans and Dutch as well, actually.
They live
quite,
in Switzerland, or are they just
yeah,
visiting?
yeah, they're living here. So
Okay.
they came here for kind of jobs, and I think initially they were working for South African companies and got transferred and kind of stayed over here. Kind of they really enjoy it. So
Yeah.
it's interesting. We're a very international bunch these days.
Yeah. It's nice to have people from all over the world connecting with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a small world eventually, right? We all know, you probably might know someone that I know if we really dig deeper into it. It's so funny. Like, oh my God,
me.
from that little time. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we're one big family. Well, I mean, we see each other probably more at some point than you see your own partners or your friends if we see each other on a daily basis for a couple of hours, right?
It's true.
I had that with my colleagues at KLM. We said, oh my God, we were just, we had such a good time in the office, and we became like family. And we were like, and I had like one of my good friends, he was sitting up opposite of me, and we were making friends. And his wife actually did get jealous a little bit because we really, we were just friends. But, you spend day in, day out, 5 days a week, like 8 hours, together, and you talk and you work, but you also get to know each other, right? Yeah.
They call that, there's a term in the UK, I don't know if it's worldwide as well, but it's called like work husband or work wife. That one person at work who, you spend a lot of time with, and doesn't mean anything's happening. It's just
no,
a term.
It's just, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and it's so nice to have colleagues and just people that you can have fun with. Just it's boring when you don't. When you spend so much time per day with each other, right? Yeah.
I think especially
for going up.
Yeah, it's still quite. It's going up quite nice. A lot of buy pressure came in, so I'm just looking for that pullback, and then potentially you can buy it. But whether that will happen in the next, how long have we got? 8 minutes, something like that. Yeah, 8 minutes. I don't think so. But I think going back to what you were saying, especially as traders, it's quite a lonely profession. I think if you're at home trader, you kind of wake up, look at the charts, click a few buttons, done, and you got nothing to do for. I found it a very kind of not boring necessarily. Boring's the wrong word, because I do enjoy trading. I do enjoy analyzing charts and all that, but you're only doing that for a small amount of time during the day, and then the rest of it, there's really not much left to do. So yeah, it's nice to do these live streams, interact with other human beings once in a while. It's definitely really nice to do.
Well, we have similar. It is so funny that I never realized. I enjoyed as well, but then when Hola Prime, when we got to let's do it, and now I realize, oh my God, I'm so happy with this opportunity, and being part of a community, and we come in, we have our chats, and we have the same interest, and we learn from each other. And it's such a blessing to do it in this way. And it's just I'm really happy that I never thought, if I wouldn't know about the opportunity, it never really crossed my mind. But now I'm just like, wow, this is just so amazing to build with, connect with an audience and with colleagues, and build a community. It's being part of a community that's really actively. I really find very exciting. Yeah,
absolutely. I couldn't agree more. We'll have a quick look at ES real quick.
Yes.
I'll just jump on very quickly. So we did have that break through that area. A lot of buy pressure came in. You know, you saw the buyers really kind of pick it up. 100, another 100, another 180. Bit trapped at the top here, so I am expecting the pullback to potentially start occurring now, if those, just because we have a bit of trap buyers at the top, and that usually indicates there could be a pullback. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the update. I don't think it will happen in this session, sadly. If I was in session 2, maybe we could probably see this play out, but yeah, it's one of those things. I think what's going to happen now is that pullback will occur. So we've had the first part where it breaks out. The pullback's going to occur back into this area. That would also line up with, you know, these heavy buyers who initiated the move, defending their position, and then we'll have the continuation. So I think that will be what will occur. So in this area, I would like to potentially buy it.
Same on NQ. It's the 4 o'clock is the rejection, and it's just going to hang around and then go down most likely, and then yeah.
Wow, it always happens right before the session ends.
Yeah.
Every time I've done session 1, my trade lined up just before session 2 started, which was always funny. But
it's time based. Everything is time based. You see, there's a pattern, right?
Yeah, you can't tell the markets when they should move.
You know, they know also, like, you know, when the funny thing is, if I move my stop and I always get punished, it's like, does the market, it's like a weakness, right? When the moment you move your stop, it means that you didn't have confidence in your trade, and it's like it knows that weakness. And it's I find it fascinating that every time I do move it, I get stopped out. So it means there is a pattern, and I find it very interesting. And you know, the market is built on fear and greed, and I guess moving a stop falls under the fear thing, I guess, if I would say so. Oh my God, I want less of a loss, but that just means I didn't plan my, you know. So I find it very fascinating. And then it knows exactly, I'm going to get you now, because you are now, you know, you're my weaker hand, and then it does. And,
what's funny about that is every trader experiences that, right? You know, whenever you do something, then all of a sudden it's almost like the market knows exactly what you don't want to happen, and it does that. But all that shows is
it's built on that, exactly, that fear and greed, and that's part of, they know people do that, or they entice you, they do certain movements where that triggers something in your brain. It's fascinating, because we're actually not supposed to make money. It's built like that.
We should be robots, really. We should be robots. no nervous system.
Exactly. But what it does show is how similar each individual, actually, we all think very, very alike. Because the reason it happens is because it wasn't just you, it was so many other people doing the exact same thing. You know, we're not actually all that unique. You know, it happens to us all. We all think very much alike, and that's part of trading, you know?
Yeah. So no more moving stop losses from me in the rest of the year. That's you can tell, you can hold me accountable for that. If I move it, just say, hey, you remember, no more moving. It's either a stop out, it's a loss. I am allowed to move if my TP, that's okay. You know, once it's going, I'm allowed, okay, you know what, I'm getting out now, that's okay. But I won't allow myself to use my stop, to move my stop loss anymore. That is a no-go from now on. I said that last time as well. Well, this was a demo trade, but I still did it. But again, it's good. It's a nice. It showed it again. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll hold you to that, and
please do.
If you ever do it in the live session, I will say
exactly.
no.
Exactly. Yes. No.
You will be punished.
That's what we're here for. We need to help each other, get better traders as well.
James has a question. He goes, so I have heard many traders talk about the market being manipulated. Is this really true, and how is it done? Yes and no. The reality is, look, a lot of time it looks like manipulation, but it is really just the market gravitates to whatever the liquidity is, right? So where you're like, imagine stop hunts for example. It's not big institutions looking at retail traders stop hunts and saying, oh, look, there's money on the table, let's grab it. It's more a big institution wants to enter, there's not enough liquidity in the market, and the market has to find the liquidity. And generally speaking, that's where a lot of people stops are going to be, because a stop is basically a pending order. So it's available there. It's not a market order where it just comes out at random. It's a pending order, limit order, a stop order, and it's there, and the market will gravitate towards that, grab the liquidity, and then make its move. So yes and no, it is manipulated in terms of order flow. There is manipulation in terms of the depth of market. You'll get spoofing and stuff. But if you're talking about stop hunts, it does happen, but not quite for the reason most people think. I hope that was a quick fire there.
I see it a little bit differently from my point of view, but James, I think we have to end. We have to see each other, and then maybe I can give my point of view on that. But yeah, I would love to talk more on that, Sam.
In the next session we
have to postpone that a little bit because we are out of time, unfortunately.
That's it.
Yeah.
Join us on Monday,
yes.
and we'll talk about that. But don't go away, because in 15 minutes we have Paul, the crypto expert, along with, let me just double check, and Michael. Paul and Michael and Tiger. I'm sorry, three of our coaches. So definitely stick around. But apart from that, Howard, Iris, it's been a pleasure.
Take care, guys.
Wish you the best rest of
Have
the day.
Have a lovely weekend.
And, we'll catch up.
Enjoy. Take care,
You
guys.
too.
Bye.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
All right, there we go.
Hey, there we are. Paul, how's Paul?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I've just ran across town to get here. I had a call from my girlfriend to say that they're doing live streams today because I've been told there wasn't anything. So I'm here, but I don't know. I've got nothing. I don't know what happened.
Oh,
I was told that.
Hey, at least you're here.
The markets aren't open, so I'm sorry. I've got nothing for you. I'm here. I'm here.
oh, okay. I guess it'll be all about some Forex today, huh?
Right, absolutely.
How are you guys doing?
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely awesome.
As soon as my school's over, going to see my family for the holidays. So looking forward to it.
Nice.
All right, that's
Yeah,
good.
it threw me off a little bit because I was like, we're like super on point. We're starting right on the dot. And when we were a little behind, I'm like, what's going on here? I'm checking my time. I'm like, am I early?
Yeah, I was looking at Eastern, Central, like,
Are the markets open? Are the markets open?
The currency market is, and Bitcoin.
Yeah, currency is, yeah.
I do not know what happened there.
Oh, that's all good. Well, we got it. We can, I can lead off if you want. I'll just kind of go through the calendar and some events.
Yeah, thanks, Tiger.
Yeah.
And then I'll try and get see where we are. Okay.
Yeah, let me just go present real quick, and I'll just kind of look at what I'm looking at in today's low liquidity day, because I do have a few things in play. Let me look here. Let's just get that open. Get that opened up. Wait for it to pop up on the stream here. As soon as it pops up, I know it takes a few seconds sometimes. There we go. Finally got my dark mode set up.
Dark mode. Okay, nice.
I had to go through and adjust some things so that it shows up, like my fib levels and all that. But yeah, it's a little different on the eyes, but I think overall it'll be a little better, obviously, for all the marketing that we do as a company. So
you know, I live and breathe dark mode, so I can't. I look at a white chart now; it blinds me. I can't.
Yeah,
I'm the same way. I'm the same exact way. I have everything on dark mode.
Just makes me want to go out and listen to some Marilyn Manson, maybe some Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I've been to both of their concerts. They're pretty wild, let me tell you. But yeah, as far as a trading plan, I'm going to switch over to my trading plan here. Yeah, so basically right now, and I'm going to go through the calendar after this, but I'm short on the pound Swiss, the dollar CAD, and Nikkei did pay me a cup of coffee. I did get out of that just above break even overnight. So I'll go over that real quick. Bitcoin, what I'm looking at there, did have a demand zone bounce yesterday and then another one formed today. So I've got a limit order set. It's in that zone now, but I'm just waiting for a exit to enter it. So I'll point out that. According to my fundamentals, the Euro CAD is the number one on my edge finder as far as the fundamental and sentiment reports. And I got a couple of smaller time frame demand zones that I'm looking at there. Looking at a 30-minute demand zone on the Swiss franc, and then the New Zealand Jap, I got an hour demand zone I'm looking at, and the master pattern is forming perfectly. So just a couple things. The minority house speaker, he spent 8 hours on the floor yesterday. I think he started around midnight, but he did a filibuster speech. They're pretty well, pretty much against the big, beautiful bill that Trump was passing. But so, yeah, he gave an 8 hour and 43-minute speech or something like that just to delay the vote. Yeah.
Did a good job.
Yeah. Yeah. He looked like he aged about 10 years in that 8 hours. But
yeah, for sure.
Voice was starting to get hoarse and everything. What was that, Paul?
I think he's probably trying to stop your country from aging prematurely as well.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, as soon as that was over, they voted. So it ended up passing 218 to 214. So it's definitely going to be, kind of a structural shift over here in the U.S. as far as policy and a lot of things. So it's going to be interesting to see how the markets open up next week and really just throughout the rest of the year from that. He should be signing it today, President Trump. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting time. We'll see how next week goes. And obviously he's jumping back on his tariff warnings. There's like 100 and whatever he said, 115, 120 countries that I guess they're going to decide to just send them a letter to get some tariffs going, and then just kind of write up some trade plans, I guess, along the way. But so the futures market, I noticed, was a little bit down because of that. So that'll be another interesting thing to watch going forward next week to see how the markets open. Weekend, yeah, I just put Israel, Iran. I mean, look, I know they got a ceasefire going on, but that's always making me hesitant, especially right now, to hold trades open over the weekend. So yeah, I just put that there for my own reminder at the end of the day to close anything I have, no matter what it looks like. So, and yeah, next week's calendar. So if I flip over to the calendar real quick, nothing much going on today, obviously, because of the holiday. I believe Lagarde is speaking at a women's conference. Yeah, at some point today. I don't think it's an economic related speech, just more of a women's business type thing. So, as always, people pay attention no matter what they are talking about to see if they get any clues on the economy. But Saturday, tomorrow, we got OPEC. They're going to be meeting. So it'll be interesting to see how oil opens up next week, what comes out of that. But really the main things I saw was the cash rates for Australia dollar on Monday and then New Zealand dollar on Tuesday. As you can see, they're projected to drop the rates for Australia. So yeah, definitely going to be looking for some. All on my screen, or all the Aussie pairs seem to be quite bearish. So it's just going to be interesting to see how much further down they go next week once they drop that rate. But a little surprising, New Zealand is keeping theirs the same. So goes Australia. Usually New Zealand isn't too far behind. So I just kind of thought that was interesting that they're just kind of staying pat for now. But yeah, and then other than that, the FOMC minutes Wednesday, and a little bit of lip flapping from FOMC Waller there and Governor Bailey over the weekend on Saturday. And then, of course, your normal unemployment numbers coming towards the end of the week. So, definitely going to be keeping a close eye on the Australia dollar pairs and the New Zealand pairs on the early part of next week anyway. Just kind of see how they react in and around the supply and demand zones I like to trade. So,
right.
But as far as let me see here. I was going to go.
Yeah, interesting week for sure. I've been saying this all week. Like, this is one of those blah, blah, blah weeks. It's kind of like
this week. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I didn't have too much risk on this week. This was weird. I'm not in the business of losing money. And these type of weeks is definitely a recipe to lose some of the profits that you already earned. So
yeah.
I've been real cautious this week.
Yeah. No, we should have a little more excitement next week. So it'll be interesting to see how all this stuff kind of opens up. But yeah, as far as the trades I got going open right now, let me just flip on over here to this. So I do have a Bitcoin limit order set. I believe I had that on a 1 hour zone. Actually, I had it on a 2 hour, but on the GUI trades, it doesn't give us the 2 hour option. So when I was looking at that on my trading view, it was what I saw was that right there. So the last red candle down before the spike up. Had 4 good 2 hour candles coming out of that. So that shows me there's some strength there, rising volume on the way out. So when I saw it on a 30-minute, we already created a really nice tail, just perfectly spiked in and back out. So essentially what I'm looking to do is just put a buy stop order right above that 30-minute candle. Just to make it prove itself. So currently it's kind of, playing around in that range of that green candle, if you will. So yeah, we'll just keep an eye on it. But in the meantime, I do, like I said, I do have a limit order set, a buy stop order just above that 30-minute candle right there. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Let's see.
Yeah, sorry. I was just checking my Bitcoin. I haven't looked at it today. In moving house. Yes, I think that's a good place.
Hey, good morning, Robert.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. That's a good area to come in on. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, normally I look on a 4 hour, but I didn't see anything there. But the 2 hour looked pretty good. I mean, it's a little more than 50 whatever it is, 50% fib retracement. Yeah, right at the 50. So the 50 and
since we broke out on the 2nd of July, this is really the first touch of that range. So it's ripe for a little bounce there potentially. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then obviously, I mean, it's been kind of going sideways of late. But, yeah, I mean, what I saw the other day was, I mean, it kind of broke this line like this. So it's showing some strength to push through that. And then, yeah, I just like to see a retracement and find some unfilled orders there. So that's, yeah, I agree. It's a pretty good spot. So anyway, we'll see how that plays out. Let's see what else I got. British pound, Swiss franc. Let me flip on over to that one. Yeah, this one was on a smaller time frame, I believe. Yeah, 1 hour. So I identified yesterday this, I think during the stream actually, this 1 hour supply zone candle and price came in. And same thing, when I looked at it on I believe a 15 minute, I identified, this sharp red candle coming out of the zone. So I placed or maybe that was a 5 minute. Let me look here. I mean, it looked good on the 5 and the 15 minute. That was what I saw that was important. 5 minute, yeah, right there. So I essentially had a limit order, a sell stop order to get triggered on the way out. And then it kind of danced around. I was getting kind of bored there for a while. I thought, well, we'll just let it run. We'll see what it does before end of day on Friday. And yeah, I mean, ever since it's just kind of slowly matriculating out there. I had originally had my stop loss in this area, but I wanted to give it a little more wiggle room. So I ended up putting above all this overhead resistance, just slightly above that. So it's not a great risk to reward. I mean, let's see here. That's pretty much 50 pips. Yeah, 76. It's not the greatest, but I just really like that zone. I mean, if I can get price to come down, I'll just move it to break even, and I'll likely just drop my. Let me think about this for a second. No, I probably won't. I'll probably just close it because again, I don't want
to. I got a position I want to put on. Let me, if you don't mind,
go right ahead.
Grab this.
I'll come back to my stuff later.
Yeah. So actually, I'm only half risk today because this is share screen. Okay, that was a new button I didn't see before. Okay, so I'm looking at a few of them actually. Why is my trading view not up? I don't know.
Oh, you might have to
ask me.
Yeah, you might have to click tab. At the very top, there's usually a button.
Oh, I know what happened. I restarted my computer yesterday. It was acting a little funky in the stream.
Yeah, it was cutting in and out quite a bit or delaying.
Let me see.
Yesterday.
Sorry about that.
But it got better towards the end of it, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the Starlink over here. It's a little funky sometimes. I don't even know why it does that. And I know they recently changed a few things. So I changed the plan that I have. And I don't know. It hasn't been going lightning fast like it normally does. Sorry, guys. I thought I had this up already. I'm looking at it on my other monitor that's in front of me.
Well, while that's loading, I was looking at.
It's going to open up today or tomorrow?
Looking at Facebook.
All right, my bad. Go ahead and you can go ahead and I'll get this up and worked on that. Of course, it pops up soon as I get. Of course, okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, no problem. Let me present my screen again real quick here.
Okay.
Let's see where was that. So yeah, pound Swiss. I think that was pretty well it for my pound Swiss trade. Opened up another one on the dollar, Canada dollar as well. I mean, from a fundamental point of view, it's given me a. Let me see, dollar CAD. You know what? That actually moved to neutral. But I'm looking at it on a smaller time frame. So basically, I believe I identified a 15-minute supply zone. Yeah, so this last green candle up, and then I had 1, 2, 3, 4 red candles coming out of that. So yeah, I pretty well, got a little bit of I believe it was, oh yeah. So I was trying to put this in as a limit order but I accidentally hit market. Yeah. So I ended up getting in the trade, even though I wasn't quite ready. So I'm just going to have to go with it. I have no choice. I mean, small risk, so it's not that big a deal. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't quite an engulfing candle. The volume wasn't really the greatest. So I was essentially waiting on like a break of this down here, the red candle. So let me go look at that on a smaller time frame. Yeah, I was trying to put in an order right here as it, kind of broke back out, but yep. It's my second day using this GUI trade platform. So I just hit market when I was trying to hit limit. So anyway, lesson learned, verify your orders every time.
Yes.
Yeah, we were talking about market orders yesterday and how, like, because we essentially came to the conclusion, Tiger, that market orders are fine for Forex and other markets, but not for crypto.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, it's fine with Bitcoin because there's plenty of liquidity, but the issue is with market orders in a lot of the altcoins, there's just not the liquidity there, and typically
slippage.
Yeah, exactly. You get tons of it, but you're fine with Bitcoin. But it's funny because we were talking about this yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, I like.
Okay, I'm up, Tiger. If you don't mind, let me grab the screen so I can jump in.
Absolutely. Let's see what Michael got with the M's and the W's.
Yeah, we got a nice little level 1 trade setting up here. Not too bad at all. I'm actually going to show 4 of them. Like, we got 3 possibles. This one's already confirmed, so I am going to go ahead and take this one. This is actually a very, very, very nice setup. Now, again, it's Friday. It's a bank holiday, so I'm not going to go full risk at all. But we do have this nice little pattern here. So sometimes it's not a W for the low, for the peak low, right? Sometimes it's a head and shoulders pattern like we have here. But then it runs up and it comes back and bounces off this 50. I'm expecting this to run up just like this.
Oh,
right? And this is no coincidence that the break and retest comes in. Literally, if you look at this zone, you put this right here, this is nearly exactly where this attempted to come and bounce off of.
Textbook.
Typically, I don't like to take the trades when this 800 EMA is in the way, like how it is right now. The only exception is when the 800 EMA for me is going through the Asian box, which is right here. Because the orders are already accumulated in here, so I'm not too much worried about it from once it's going through. If it was below or above, then I would be worried about it. But seeing it is going through it, to me, this is like it's invisible. The orders are already stacked up in here. So this 800 EMA is not a major bounce off point like it typically would be. So yeah, jump over there. But it is having a little bit of trouble right there. But I am expecting it to just bust through.
Yeah.
Maybe not bust through fully because it's the less volume here, but we will sure see. So I'm gonna put on half his position, just a half. And that stop loss looked like it's at 144.20. 144.20 on UJ.
So you would prefer the price to be above the 800? Is that what you're saying?
I would. I actually would prefer it to be above it, like a close above it, because that way it's just free range. Versus kind of how it's just having a little bit of trouble with that price point right now. Where is UJ? Oh, here it is.
Whose Poachy was that?
144.20.
She's also had to run across town with me. She's a little bit distressed because of it. So sorry about that.
No, my cat was meowing the other day, and I was mean mugging him, like, get out.
Well, don't let your cat meow when my dog can hear it.
Oh, well, I keep my door shut usually, but I had my door open, my office door, and so he came in here. He knows not to come into my house, into my room. I don't like cat hair on my clothes, on my bed, any of that. So he stays in the living room.
Right.
But he'll come,
okay, so let's put
right to the edge.
I want to put the TP right around here. So let's do 145.20. And that might be good for us. 145.20. 5.20. All right, so a nice little 2-for-1, risking 32 pips to make 67. I clearly don't expect this to happen today, seeing that the volume's low. It's Friday. If we can get a little bit of something, at least get me a little far enough to be able to move my stop loss to break even, maybe somewhere around here. Then I just like to put my alerts up here. Yeah, L2BE. All right, that's where I move my stop loss to break even. I also like to put like a little, you know this, Paul, but this is more or less for you, Tiger. Just in case I step away, whatever the case may be, I like to know if it's coming back, right? Like coming back, right? Like almost gonna stop me out. Then I always put like a third one here saying, yeah, this one stopped you out, just in case.
Alerts are your friend.
SL hits. And then on this last one, I'll just put my infamous, I love the phrase, TP smack.
TP smack. Do you have a cash register hit?
Yep, it says ching ching as soon as it goes off.
All right. What does it do when you hit a stop loss? Do.
It says womp womp womp.
Yeah.
Right, something like that.
That's so
but
good.
Cool. So this one is pretty much done. No other work to do on this one. And I'll just draw this structure up really quick. Now, this is a little bit different. You guys are used to me drawing out the market maker cycle looking like this. And I'm trying to catch this move here, which is my favorite setup, the level 1 move, right? But this one's a little bit different. And this is what I always mean. Like, they can't give you the same exact, like, pitch. Because it's like, let's say baseball or something. Like, if the pitcher was to throw the same exact throw every time, they were probably all knocking out the park, like literally, right? So they gotta throw what I would call variations to the theme. So they make it look a little bit different sometimes. And in this case, that different is like this. But in reality, it's the same exact move, right? I'm still just looking for this. Both of these are peak lows, no matter what. Both of these are peak lows, no matter what. And I'm just looking for it to come and bounce off this area, which is doing this area. And my confirmation is that first close above the 13 EMA. So once price runs back down and touches the 50, as you notice, none of these candles close above this 13 EMA, which is the red one. Now this little baby one kind of does, but that's not good enough for me. Like, that's on the line. I don't want to have to zoom all the way in and see if it closed or not. That's too much. This next one clearly closes above it. You can see that, from way back here. So this is the good candle right here. This is the confirmation. And then when I kick it up to the 4-hour chart, I can see that price is above this 13 EMA, which is me giving me my 4-hour confirmation.
Oh, okay.
So this is actually working out. This is everything I would take any other day. The only reason, again, it's half risk. It's Friday and it's a holiday, so not really the same. But I just don't want to not take it for one, because I'm enough in profit for the week to be able to take this. I only took one trade. Actually, this is my second trade of the week. I took CAD Yen on Monday, and that's really what gave me my profits for the week. But been real cautious, as I've been mentioning, because I'm just not in the business of giving money back. Like, I really work hard for this. A lot of markups, a lot of time in front of the chart, and I don't want to give any of it back. So,
that's right.
I like to be as I can with, especially when you can kind of predict it. If you would have lost money yesterday, non-farm, of course that was a day to lose money. If you lose money today when it's a bank holiday, of course, especially on a USD pair, right? So I don't expect the volume to be high at all on this. Like, this might not even make it, right? Like, I'm just hoping it just goes up a little bit, and then again, I'm gonna close my trades at 355 either way. So,
hey, remind us again your your four lines going through price, the blue, the teal, the white, the red. What numbers do those represent again, or what?
Yeah. So the red one is the 13 EMA.
13.
The baby blue one is the 50 EMA, and this white one is the 200 EMA. And then this darker blue one is the 800 EMA. So 13, 50, 200, 800.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Pretty simple mechanics.
Yep. And they work out well. Like I love the EMAs on the screen. Like the way I have them set up, I call them like landmarks, right? So as soon as I see this 1350 cross, right, I can automatically tell that I'm in level 1 automatically. As soon as the 1350 cross. And I mark this up all the time for everybody. It's the same thing over and over. Yeah. But yeah, I know I'm in level 1 and I'm looking for that, as I said last time, that bounce off the 50. Right? Anytime I'm in level 1, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Now I can tell I'm still in level 1 again because the 200, which is the white one, and the 50, which is the blue one, as you see right here, they have not crossed yet. So that means, again, I'm still in level 1. As soon as they cross, then it's in level 2 at that point. That would be this continuation part of this move, right? So that would be something like this, right? And I know that this is level 2, right? Theoretically, this should run up here, all the way up here. Let me kind of draw it on. This price should run up at least far enough, and then maybe come back and bounce off this level right here. Right? Simultaneously, the 50 and the 200 EMA would have been crossed. That's how I know I'm in level 2. And it should, continue that way. Now, again, this is a little bit different. This is like a one-off a bit because of the holiday, but any other day, this is exactly what I'll be looking for, like every day. And I'm actually about to show 3 more examples.
Yeah, and the important thing is, Michael, you're buying low.
We also had. Oh, my bad. What'd you say?
I was just saying, yeah, the important thing is you're buying low on the curve, which is the higher.
Yep.
Higher R, R&R trades. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And the only reason this is kind of stalling right here, literally, is because this 800 is right here. If it wasn't, this candle would probably be a little bit bigger. But we'll see. I won't be surprised if this is a larger candle and it ends up closing, up here or something. You just need to bust through this 800 right here.
As long as all the short sellers are on holiday already, you'll be fine.
Right. Exactly right. Cool. So this is UJ. The other one was UF, which is 1 over, right? UF is not bad at all, guys. If you can see, this is almost the same exact setup.
Yeah, pretty much the same.
Now I got the alert set on here, but actually let me change the name of this. And I always like to put the name on here because when I'm step away from the computer, I want to know what setup it is. So this is what I call a master trade. This is my, again, number 1 setup. When it's coming out of level 1 like this, I love it. Like, love it. This trade really, made me, I'd say. I would spot the hell out of this trade coming from a far away. And it really kind of just gave me the confidence to not just take them, but catch the moves preceding that. So, but yeah, same thing. W here, it runs up, right? Bounces off this, and the next move should be something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops. I did not mean to take that one off. I meant to take the other one off. But if you can also see here, we got this small W pattern here. So first leg, close up. Second leg, as soon as this closes back up, this is good to go. And once again, it's not a coincidence that it's pretty much bouncing off this same area, guys. Like, look at this blue tracer. Yep. We got something here, something here. This is definitely support. Resistance turns support or vice versa. However you look at it, same thing. Right? But yeah, this would be another nice move to take. Entries right there. Stops right below this swing point. And the target is really the 200 EMA, but I like to target the ADR high. I would be at break even once it gets up here no matter what. So the main thing is to make sure you take the risk off the table at this point. So just in case it does bounce off of this and goes back down, you don't lose on it, right? Me, if I did take this trade, if it sets up and price got all the way up there, my stops, I will be moving it further and further and trailing it into profit, and my stops will end up being all the way up here. So just in case this came and bounced off this, I don't care. I made the move. I made the money from here to there. Probably took some partials, and yeah, that would be the move. So I really wouldn't be worried about it too much. And as you can see, this is that same part of the cycle, right? Right here. Once again, you can always tell by this is the dead giveaway right here. It's 1350 cross. It's no longer in level 1. I mean, level 3. The way I look at it is everything below this, from here down, this is trap volume. They really don't want to come and let traders, out of this zone. And once this happens, the next move typically is this 200 EMA. So
that's so
that
good.
Looks great as well.
That's
I think we
really
got
good.
2 more. And as you can see, these look the same. Like this looks just like the last one. Looks just like EJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
The only difference is this one is already above the 200, like how price is closed above the 200 right now, right? So technically, these are 2 separate setups because let me go back to the other one. So UF is actually my favorite setup. This one is, as you can see, is labeled as called the master trade because I'm looking for that 1350 cross, the run to not touch the 200, pull back, bounce off the 50, and then run to the 200. I want to be on the train when it's running to the 200 after the bounce because that's the next expected move for price to go to the 200, right? But this one, on the other hand, as you can see, price has already closed above the 200. But same concept. This isn't a master trade though. This is, for me, this is the level 1 money trade is what this is called. So it's still coming off the peak. You still have your 1350 cross. Everything's still here. But the difference is price ran up and closed above the 200. And then the next move is the run. Right? So slightly different, but it's the same move coming off the peak low in essence. But you got to give that characteristics to two different ones because although these look super close, they're like twins a little bit, but you can kind of tell that they're not the same because again, the other one is below the 200. So but both really nice moves. Then we got 2 more. I want to say was it GN? It was one of these. Was it GN? Yes, it was. So GN looks a little bit different, but this one is the M off the 200. Right. So just how I mentioned about the other ones, let me just kind of start over here. Right. We got this. And this is really, really cool to point out, guys. Like, just check this out. Right. We have this is an ugly M top, like really ugly. So we got some funky move, whatever, runs down. But you can see here, this is where the 1350 crosses. Right. So we know we're in level 1 there. But as soon as this happens, this level 2 move with a 5200 cross, we know we're in level 2. And a level 2, let me type this out, 5200 cross. We know we're in level 2. And in level 2, we're looking for M's, W's off 200, right? So now that we know that, I can identify where we are in the cycle. The next thing I'm looking for is price to touch this 200, which it first touch really is here. Now this is a touch, but this doesn't count for the simple fact that if you look down, you can see this market baseline is below this static line. So although the chart is saying it's a touch, the TDI is saying it's not. This doesn't count. That's why I always like to say that I need both of these, the chart and the TDI, to agree with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So even this could be the first leg. We really don't know. I would like for this to be more out the band, like how this is kind of close. It looked like it's just outside of it. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. We really won't know until price closes below here, right? And let me actually add an extra note here too. Let's put M off the 200. Right, so once price closes below here, then we're good to go. And also remember the M's and W's require what we call a reload, which would be something like this. The market baseline needs to come on the M's, it needs to come above the static and come back down. Because what's happening here is this little bit of space, they have traders pending orders going long here. So I want them to activate those orders long. Again, that's called the reload. And I want it to kind of come on back around like the other way, right? So as we can see here, the market baseline is just now getting above the static. So this move's not ready yet. It probably won't even happen today, more than likely. But next week, this will be in play, right? So second move, obviously we're looking for this M structure. Now this might look something like this. It doesn't even matter what it looks like. As long as it gives you the reload, I would prefer an outside the band on the TDI than the inside the band, but it will look something like this. And that target would be this low right here. So maybe a little bit lower, right? Yeah, something like this. So yeah, nice 2-for-1. This would be a nice 2-for-1 trade. I'm gonna lock this on here so I can take everything off. Oh, keep them. Okay, cool.
Triple top.
All right, so yeah, it could totally be a triple top. And reason being is the market baseline is so late, like it's going above the static very, very late. So this could easily, just close down and it'll look okay. But I would much rather swing one more time and then do it. Because that way I know they got them.
Yeah. Catching liquidity.
Then the last one, yeah, gotta grab it. And then you can also see too, right? Like this blue tracer here, like this blue dash line, there's orders above this too. So they're coming right to it. They might ping it on and yank it away from them. We got to see what it looks like on the hard right edge, but this is the setup, 100%.
Oh, so that's much like my master pattern showing the liquidity lines.
Yep.
Same thing.
Yep. Gotta get it.
Yeah, we all chasing the same liquidity.
Yep. So let them get trapped, and then I'll take it the other way. That's really what I want to happen.
Yep.
And then we got one more on EU, which was looking good at first, but now I see it's going the other way. So EU, guys, is literally just like USD CHF, except it's the opposite, obviously. Right? So if you can see here, same exact pattern, right? You got the M top, you got the break below, retest this area, and drop, right? We're trying to catch that move right here. It's the same thing if you look at this over here, right? Kind of ugly, a little ugly, but still there. You got this M, this 2M thing. It broke this low, right? Pull back. Now we got this funky M here and drop. 200 is good. That's the target. But again, I like to target the ADR low. If the ADR low is past the 200, I'll take it. If it's not, I won't take it there, because realistically, it wants to go to the 200. But in a case like this, seeing that the 200 is before the ADR low, I'll take this. And like I said, it doesn't matter to me, because by the time it gets to the 200 EMA, I would be at break even anyway. So there's no risk on the table at that point. But same exact move, guys. Same move. And then as you can see, the market baseline is going below the static. Remember, this is a master trade, right? You can see I got lazy today. I didn't even put the names of these, what I would normally do.
I think Tiger's just walked off for a minute, so it's just me and you. I don't know. I think Tiger was he was so impressed with your setups, he's just had enough. He's given up trading.
Okay.
I'm sure he'll be back, folks. Don't worry.
Right, he'll be back. But yeah, everything about this is really nice too. Now, this is obviously not completed. Oh, even the R to R on this, risking the dollar to make $2.25. Like, this is going to be nice when it sets up.
Yeah,
super nice. So really excited about that one. And let me delete all of this. And we'll keep them. Okay, great. All right. So again, this looks the exact as UF, just the other way around. Literally, it's the same thing, just the other way around. And typically, UF and EU, they do that. Like if one's long, one's short anyway. But they've been off for quite a while, so you kind of couldn't say that. But it looks like they might be getting back to how they used to be. So we'll see how that turns out. And then let me delete this too. All right, cool. And then I just want to go over GU and GJ really quick.
Oh, that's great.
I think that'll be pretty much it for me today.
Yeah, sure.
So we already kind of. Oh, my bad. What'd you say, Paul?
No, I'm happy to take over when you're ready. We can go
okay.
blind into the charts. So, I know, yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Hey, there I am.
Tiger's back. You're right, Tiger. What happened?
Okay.
I just lost connection for a minute. I heard your comment about I was so impressed I left. My audio and visual wasn't working. I think we're good now.
Okay, sweet.
Sorry about that.
This is
actually turning out really funny. So I'm going to delete all of this at this point because this is kind of turned away. As you can see, I was looking for the W off this 200. Reason being is obviously we have the 5200 cross. So the next move is the W. But this is really ugly now. So I'm going to delete all of this and redo it. All right. So same thing. But this is, to me, is in a place where you kind of can't tell now. And for the simple fact that we have this telling us, hey, this is long, right? This 5200 cross, because we're looking for the W. But then after that, we have this. Now, it hasn't happened yet, but it's about to. We got this almost 5200 cross going to the downside. So is this trying to make some W going long like this? Or is this now turned around and it's trying to make, some M like this? We have no idea. So I would leave this alone altogether. Now, I wouldn't touch it also for the simple fact that on the TDI, as you can see, the market baseline is below the static. So it can't be an M, not yet at least, because it would need to do this and make the reload, right? If it did something like this and had the reload in here, then maybe I'll be interested in shorts, maybe, because that means the sentiment has changed and we are no longer long, we are short. And you can kind of see that here from here.
Yeah.
Right. Drop. And then this is the retest area, right? Like if that was the break, this is the retest. I mean, that makes sense. So you can kind of see this kind of panning out a little bit, but it's too hazy to really say. And yeah, it's just really hazy. I wouldn't touch this.
And on that yellow
not
line,
that it was set up today anyway, but let's see. Which one?
On that yellow line right there, the reload, yeah. Are you waiting for that line to start curving downward? Preferably?
Nah. So as long as it's above it, right? So let me see. Let me take this off. Then I'll take this off too. So how it's, let's pull this up. So how it's kind of, it's below the static now, right? Because this static 50 line is what I call the static. This market baseline is below it. I don't really care that I don't really need it to start pointing down, but what I do need it to do is come above it, right? So let's say if it's up like this, it doesn't, I will still take it if it looks like that, as long as it's above it, right?
Makes sense.
Now, if it starts curving down like this, that's even better. Like I am thinking like, all right, this thing's definitely finna turn around. But the problem with that is sometimes you might be a little late.
Yeah.
If it starts curving already, you might be a little bit late. But not all the time. Yeah, it is. It is. Because sometimes you'll see it all the way like this and you're still not too late. You know what I mean? So it's just something that you got to kind of watch out for and pay attention to. But the most important thing is that the market baseline is above the static like that, at least. Gotcha. It has to be above it.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and I think the most important thing that you're doing right now, Michael, is you are visualizing what you want to see, right? And that's like the most important thing for people to do. We all do, you know, we all do it. We're all trying to, but that's what people need to do. And if, you know, you're visualizing it, which kind of solidifies it in your mind, but it's a really good tip for people to do to just visually draw it. I mean, you see me do it all the time, but when I'm watching you do it, it's just like, this is great, because if you don't see that, it's clear. You don't trade. So it's good.
Right. And it gives you that much more confidence too when it does set up exactly how you have you done it. It's like, all right, that was perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
And it just reinforces what you were thinking, right? Because there's been plenty of times where I'll draw something just like this and it goes absolutely perfect. And then of course there's other times like GU. Remember, I just deleted this and I'm like, oh, does not look good anymore. Let me delete it. Where it just goes the complete other way. And I like to leave these drawings on here too, just to kind of how I did. I don't know if I left GJ on there. Yeah, kind of how I left this one on here. Right? Same exact thing. Like this is just insane. I love to see it happen just like this. Right? I got because this is what I preach every single day. Right? Peak high, 1350 cross. I know I'm in level 1, run down. You know, this is the move. Right here. This is still level 1. Why? How is it still level 1? Because right here is the 5200 cross. This move happened before this cross. That's how you know you're still in level 1. Now that this cross, now you're in level 2, but the move has already happened. Right? So always really, really, really good. I try to draw this stuff up as much as I can. And, you know, I say not as a professional or whatever, but I see this stuff like crystal clear, right? But it's one of those things where to be a better teacher, a better mentor, a better coach is to be able to draw it out for others so they can see it. You know what I mean? So, I definitely think drawing on the charts is huge.
Yeah, I do the same thing because of all the different time frames I use for the zones. It's just good to use the projection tool to do that. Just to visualize it.
Yep, absolutely. Because again, that just gives you that much more of clarity, right? Like you're not just. And I'm a chart marker upper. Like that's just what I do. Like I mark up charts all the time. Like,
me too. Even if I don't me, I still do it.
Right. Me too. Even if because when I mark the charts up, it helps me like, you know, weirdly enough, like some type of photographic memory database in my mind that goes on where it's like, I've seen this before. You know, like I got 100 markups that look just like this. Like I'm confident in this setup. Or you know what, the last time it did this, it didn't work out too well for me. So I'm gonna leave that one alone. Right. You kind of just get that for it.
And another thing, I like to project stuff out on stuff I'm looking to learn in the future, like futures or some other types of assets, just to kind of work on it in demo mode, if you will, just to say, okay, do my methods, do they translate to this asset pair or this, this asset, whatever. So it's a
same
visual
thing.
I'm very visual like that too.
Yep. Same thing like with Bitcoin, right? Like I mentioned I didn't take this trade because this didn't look clear to me. I only had, how I always mentioned, the W. This was just one leg here. I don't like it when it looks like that because this could have easily came back down here and then went, and I would have been pissed off.
Yeah.
So I didn't take this, but at the same time, I love to see this exact pattern and process work out on a whole nother market, the crypto market. Right. Like even when Paul, you, Yanni, and I were wondering what price Bitcoin was going to go to, waiting for weeks, and it finally closed above that 50, and then it took off.
Yeah.
So just to see things like that, like work in different markets, because I trade all of them, guys. Like I trade the NASDAQ, US 30, S&P, gold. For it to work on all of these as well, I mean, it's just powerful. It's so powerful, and I love it.
Trading polygamy.
Yeah. All right, that's it for me. I'm rambling.
No, not at all.
No, it's good stuff.
Well, look, Tiger, do you want me to just have a look at the charts and I'll just run through it at the top of my head and then?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's. I have no idea what's going on today. Let's have a look.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm pretty well already in my trades, so I'm just basically monitoring them.
All right, I'll be very careful not to say anything which contradicts your your entry.
But no, the beautiful thing is that's what makes the market, right?
Yes, for sure. Right, let me orientate myself. Okay, let's get that off. Right, this is Bitcoin 4-hour charts, and we have this channel which we've been in, lower low, and higher high. So now we have a higher high, and we're breaking out. I'm just going to check that actually. Just always double check people. Just double check. 590. Oh, actually, no, I'm wrong. So it's a good job I did double check. So it's not a higher high just yet. So there you go, check people. But we have broken out to this pattern, and this is all-time highs just here. And we're trying to find our feet. So, and I think that's what, Tiger, you're trying to do. You're trying to catch the move when Bitcoin finds its feet, essentially. So let's try and figure out. I mean, obviously, you're looking at this time frame, 106.570 is an obvious area, but it's difficult to assess what it's going to do next. Let's just go through the charts. And so yeah, we have a. I mean, the retest of this diagonal line has fallen through, but we've had a perfect bounce off the golden zone. I mean, absolutely textbook. There's a lot of momentum for sure, and this is good, but buyers will be looking to come in. But so we're not necessarily going to see a retrace to 0.5. So Tiger, you might be on the money, but let's have a look. So this is this ambiguous kind of resistance zone, which we're at the bottom of. The 50 is just below. So plenty of scenarios for a bounce here. And then also the same with the 30-minute, which is a bit more clear in terms of what the trend is doing. We've come all the way back up. Nice higher high, so past the previous high following the breakout in this upper range. This is all-time highs just up here. And now we've retraced, haven't been able to hold that, but this is the first touch really of this level since we had this move upwards, which means that there should be buyers coming in. I'm just going to see what the order block situation is. Yeah, as you can see, that some people have got the same idea as well. So a bounce from there could be in play. Let's find another chart. But this one, a little bit more bearish. This is a Bitcoin 2-hour, and I did say yesterday that this inverse head and shoulders, even though the price action has broke above the neckline, we do have this additional resistance line just overhead, which can add a bit of a spanner in the works to this breakout. And as kind of predicted, I said that, you want to wait for a move above this area, which will essentially guarantee almost all new highs. And it hasn't happened yet. And we've come back down. Is it going to come all the way back down to this moving average, which is that's the 200 MA on the 2-hour, I presume, and this I think is the 1-day 200 MA. So, we could still get a higher low if we get a bounce off here, which would just be a little bit more of a retrace. But this is you can see if I just put a horizontal line on here. I'm doing this right in front of you. I haven't looked at the charts today, so you can see very, very. You could be a bounce here, and if we look at this price action from here, this is the support line which we're looking to test. Now, obviously, we want to see if there's a candle body close first, and maybe before entering, other people entering, maybe you want to wait, because if you're not quite as experienced as Tiger, maybe you want to see a difference, a couple of candles first. But yeah, there's this is how I work. So I look at this chart and I'll be like, okay, so this is kind of a little bit bearish with a little bit of air below, but these other charts, they're showing me that it could very easily just pop a head up. So it's pretty even Stevens, I think, at the moment, with a little bit of a bullish slant. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if your trade plays out, Tiger. I'll be quite interested to see that.
Yeah, and that's why I waited for more of a confirmation exit. I mean, I'm trying to get it to break that 30-minute candle with that wick. So yeah, I definitely don't want to. I definitely didn't want to just hit a market order. So go in, wick. Let's see if we can get some volume. I did on the 30-minute candle. So yeah, I'm just looking to essentially break that high and prove that it's actually going to reverse and go up. So yeah, that's why I was a little more careful on it. Did I see your Wonder Bra trade?
No, I don't think the Wonder Bra trades around.
I saw it. You were flipping through somewhere there.
It wasn't that one. It wasn't that one.
I
think honestly, I deleted it just for the sake of HR. Right?
Oh,
there it is. It was something like this. It was something like this. It was something like this.
Yeah.
It was. There it is. And it's just no. It's an official pattern now. Wonder Bra. Wonder Bra pattern. Hashtag Yanni. Right, there we go. Okay. It's a J, not a Y, sorry, but there we go. Sorry, Yanni.
Sorry about that. I had to point that out.
Hey, no, look, Yanni was spot on, right? It's I mean, double bottom, forget about it. It's the Wonder Bra, right? For sure. Right? So let me just see if anything else is going on. I apologize for being a bit disorganized today. Let's have a look at Bitcoin dominance. Let's just see because this is going to be reflective of whether altcoin trades are going to play out over the weekend. So let me do a bit of promotion. In an hour or so, there will be a altcoin picks video on Hola Prime X's YouTube channel. I encourage you to head over there and subscribe. We do Bitcoin updates, crypto news, altcoin picks. So that'll be out in an hour or so, and I go through it's the longest video I've done actually. It's about 9 minutes of just me going through loads of setups. And maybe set up some trades once the weekend is over. But let's just try and figure out if we're going to see something from the market. So this is Bitcoin dominance.
That's on the website you said? I'm sorry. You said that was
yeah, on Hola Prime X, which is a different YouTube channel to Hola Prime.
Okay.
So we'll, I'm working on getting a link in the description so people can find it. Save you scrolling through all the live streams to see which setups I've chosen or not. So they'll be put in a nice little place. There's a focus on the Trump token today. But this is Bitcoin dominance. And of course, all of those setups are long in that video. I haven't done any short setups this time because the Bitcoin is just really bullish. But what we want to see for these altcoin longs to play out is for this to start messing around. Now we have moved to a downtrend. You see a lower high and then another one potentially, but it's struggling to confirm the breakdown of this neckline from this double top. So we've done it twice now, but it's struggled to move below this area. Now it's looking weak, which is good for altcoins because when this is heading down, hence why it's green when it goes down, this is altcoins moving, right? And the last good trading we had was back in May, and this was as a result of this move from Bitcoin dominance, which is money flowing into the altcoin market. And now the trend is showing signs of weakness. This could potentially be the play. So you want to just continue to see this. We want a lower low, essentially. You're looking for a lower low. You want this to be, let's just call this a neckline range, shall we? Let's just call it a neckline range. And we just want to see that break, essentially. We want to see these breaks. If you're looking to enter an altcoin long position, probably not over the weekend, my friends, but maybe Monday or Tuesday, once the market's found its feet, you're looking for a lower high, and then a lower low. And if you see that can add additional confluence to whatever setup you're playing with on altcoins, and then hopefully you'll be in play. But the point is that if you are entering an altcoin long here, when Bitcoin dominance is kind of peaking, then you get to enjoy this move, and this will push your altcoins up, right? So you don't want to enter an altcoin long when you're seeing a series of green candles. You want to enter an altcoin long when you think you've seen the last orange candle or rather red candle on Bitcoin dominance. I'm getting confused. Sorry. Let me show you. So a traditional chart, I just want to clarify that. A traditional chart will look like this. Okay, you've got red going down. So if you're looking at it like this, you want to see some red, you want to see some green candles from Bitcoin dominance. And then when you think it's probably touching resistance, then that's when you want to then enter your altcoin trade. And then you will hopefully get a move down like this. And that is you're pushing your altcoin long up, essentially, right? That's what you're looking for. But I tend to just have the colors slightly different in order to quantify the fact that we don't want it to go up. Bitcoin dominance, we want it to go down. So I hope that was clear. It's setting up maybe for a good week next week. potentially. But this is what you want to be paying attention to. And of course, Bitcoin is doing fine, but we don't want to see any kind of further move, really. We want to see maybe ranging around here. That would be good for altcoins, or maybe even higher highs, but we don't want it to maybe come down here. So you want to think about what you want to see with Bitcoin in order for altcoins to move, which will be Bitcoin stable with a bullish posture, which it may be over the next few days, or putting in some good highs. But you have to bear in mind that the issue with Bitcoin being so close to all-time highs is, here it is, there will be a bit of a battle going on with the sellers, which will make people hesitant, because I will be thinking, right, is it a good time if Bitcoin's just here to enter a long trade? Because even though it might carry on and be really bullish, people will be waiting for that rejection. So ideally for good trading next week, we don't want Bitcoin to go anywhere near all-time highs. We just want it to stay around this range, which is really bullish, and then get some good trading, and then allow Bitcoin to make its move. And then we've got another set of plays the week after. So that's essentially the crypto market at the moment. Any dissenting views, queries, questions?
No, not at all.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
for me, it's in a weird place. I don't even know what to do with Bitcoin right now. I'm just watching.
Yeah, for sure. And we're using Tiger as the canary in the coal mine, so it's all good.
Well, yeah, I mean, I may even cancel it just if it just keeps going sideways like that. I mean, it's obviously sitting in my zone, but yeah, I'm not getting obviously a lot of volume coming through. So yeah, I don't know that I want to necessarily leave it open over the weekend. I'd rather I may just turn around and wait, just maybe jump back on Monday. But yeah, that's why I'm glad I didn't just do a market order or a limit order. Just wait and do a stop limit. It's going sideways, probably just going to get out because it's being lazy in that zone. In other words, if it hits my zone, I want to see it go. I don't want it dilly-dallying around sideways like it is now. So
yeah, I mean, it's because it's come down. I mean, it's obviously everything is relative, and it's not a big crash. It's not a crash, but it's come down quite steeply. And when that happens, you want to see how it reacts, and then you've got a few options. But when it's kind of just meandering down, it's a little bit easier to assess that play. But when it's just kind of going doing, it's like it's like what was it? What was the thing I said the other day was which is pretty stupid, to be fair. I say a lot of stupid things. It's the person leaning on the door and then somebody opens it, right? That's what Bitcoin is at the moment. It's leaning on the door, and the people might not open the door, but if it does, down we go. Right? I don't know how we can name that, but that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah. And that's why I was waiting for that break of that 30-minute candle, but I'm not getting it. It's continuing down. So yeah, probably going to end up closing that or canceling that order.
I'm sorry, I've just read Robert's message. I'm sorry. Hi, Robert. Hi, Lola. Thanks for being here. I'm sorry we've ignored you for an hour. That was really stupid. But Robert, I wanted to start a TITS coin, a TITS coin. Everybody loves them.
Sorry, HR. Well,
we are engaging with the community.
No, but I need my Tiger coin. Remember, Paul? I think we had this conversation a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
get my Tiger coin.
Yes, there may be that coin already, Robert. To be fair, so you can go and buy it and enjoy it to the best of your ability. Buy two at the very least.
Anyway,
Lola, is there any tokens that you want me to look at today? Presuming it's not FXS. Robert, how are you feeling about Solana? Let's see what we can look up for you today. Actually, I have this. I think Robert's just going to go and just create his own blockchain and he's just going to create. I don't know, the TITS network. It's going to be fantastic. Right. So should we take a look at a random crypto, or Tiger, you got something you want to look at?
Well, I was just looking. Yeah, I mean that's really the main thing is here within the next half hour. If I don't get any movement, I'm just going to close out the Bitcoin limit order I set. But
I'm the same with this UJ trade because it's just sitting here. It's literally been sitting in the same spot the entire time.
Yeah.
So well, let me let's choose. We've got some setups we can go through, but that kind of defies the point of me promoting that video. Let's. I'm gonna look at Vanry. Is that all right? A random crypto we do on Hola Prime. Let's have a look at Vanry and let's just see what's going with Vanry. Don't know anything about Vanry. Let's just have a look. And then you get to see me do some charting.
Chart it.
You know, I charge by the hour. So Vanry.
By the way, Paul, yeah, no worries on the start, because yesterday I ended up waking up 15 minutes before I had to be on the stream. I took some melatonin at 11:30 at night because I couldn't sleep, and I should have broken. It was only a 3 milligram tablet. I should have broke it in half, but
yeah, you should.
Did not wake up until 8. I don't know how I did it. So yeah, I just told on myself to everybody, but so anyway, I made the most out of it yesterday, but I was just like,
sincere apologies to everyone. I'm not sure what happened there, but yeah, definitely those melatonin tablets, 3 milligrams is way too much. It makes you feel so weird in the morning, right?
Yeah. What about when you're actually asleep? Like, you don't have crazy dreams when you take those?
No. I mean, normally I'll take a 3.
I have some wild, crazy dreams if I take melatonin. Like, I'm talking about some stuff that will never happen. I'm like, what in the world was that about?
Yeah,
well, it does help you get a deeper sleep, but everyone reacts differently to it, of course. So yeah.
My girlfriend, she'll sleep for 2 days, so she can't take it. And I still think she took like one of the higher milligram ones, but no, 3 is fine. I normally will take one at like 9:30 or like 9:30, and I'm fine. I wake up just fine. But no, I took it too late because I had forgotten to take it. I was like, oh, I probably shouldn't do this, but I need to get to sleep because I've been having trouble just falling asleep. And a lesson learned. Don't ever take it past 10:30.
Yes, that's a good tip for sure. Right, so this is Vanry. We offer this at Hola Prime X. Just had a random token, but this is an insight into kind of just a lot of my days, my mornings. I'll just be looking at random cryptos. Obviously, I have a system, of course, but I'll just pick up some random ones and just looking for setups. And so if this is you, if you imagine that you are me and you're looking at a setup now, maybe we can give you some tips about how to draw lines in the sand. So really straightforward. This is the 4-hour chart, but I've made a mistake because you should always start on the daily and get perspective on where we are. So we entered negative price discovery at the start of the year. And now we're in this bottom range. So I don't think anyone should be expecting Vanry to be moving up into this range anytime soon. But we have seemingly formed a base in this range. So I don't think there's too much threat of a move downwards. I mean, obviously that's going to happen if the market has some more pressure. But there may be a trading opportunity now. And this is the key thing. Firstly, we have some, if we were like this, if I can just move this out, hide this. If we were, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Can you still see my screen? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we were like this, okay, and this is the price action, we've entered negative price discovery. There's nothing to trade, right? It's all extremely risky. No one's paying attention. But because we now do have some price action and we've formed a base and we've had a higher high following it, that of course means that this is probably going to be ranging for a little bit, and when the situation is right, it will move up unless there's any market pressure. So this is the bottom essentially. This is the lowest Vanry's ever been, at least I can tell on this chart. So what's the play here? We've had a bullish breakout. There's potentially this is still on the daily chart, so let's move back to the 4-hour once we've had perspective, and let's just see if we can find any confluence, and that's the key. So okay, that's interesting. I didn't mean to do that. Let's just have a look. Now, remember, my mind right now is thinking, is trying to make me wants to see something, right? So I've got to be very careful that I'm not putting things in a place which aren't appropriate, which I think I am doing. So we've got a touch there, a touch there. I'm going to use that touch. There we go. We've got a counter. If you just zoom in a little bit, counter body there, wick there. That's the level. Let's just adjust it up the top to that wick. Right. So I think it's fair that we're probably touching that, but that's insufficient confluence for me just yet. But we'd have a potential premise for a trade with Vanry now. So now I just want to mark a few more trend lines on, which will help me keep perspective, because I need to see what the price action has done. And if you see, we did break above this range, so that's good. So a higher high, which makes it a little bit easier to come in at this level, because we're maintaining the trend, higher high, higher low. This is good. So no problem there. So that's looking nice. I want some moving averages now. Let's look for some moving averages. Give me a miracle if we can find a trade today. So here we go. Okay, so we got the 50, we got the 200 over here. So that's going to determine where you take profits. And the 50 is being not particularly helpful, to be honest. I'd ideally like it to be down here. What's the RSI doing? Constructing a potential trade. Okay, so the RSI on the 4 hour, at least this time frame, is in the right place, suggesting that we could have a curve round. Let's just put the traditional RSI on. Okay, so now when the traditional RSI, you can, we've got the higher high reflected, we've got a potentially higher low, so you don't necessarily want it to be completely oversold, because it's not going to be bullish if it's that, right? So there's the oversold point, and we've got a nice little pattern here. Now that's, I mean, maybe keep an eye on this level, right? Where's Eagle when you need him? But maybe keep an eye on this level. So that's okay. We've got a certain play here. You can see how the RSI has been supporting the price action, and that maybe acts as a little bit of divergence as well. I'm not sure I can figure out off the top of my head what that would be right now. So it's just Friday. Order blocks, see what other people are thinking. Okay, so this is not an A setup. This is probably a C plus B setup, maybe. We need a little bit more confluence. So this would be the play. If you think you've got a setup but you haven't got enough confluence, right? There's no problem with looking at other time frames and then trying to see if there's something which can help you. So let's move, say, to the 12-hour. No, not on that one. Not on that one. Let's move to the 12-hour on here. And if your trades do anything, guys, if your trade does anything, let me know, please, Tiger. I don't want to stifle you. So on the 12-hour, we've got the order block is a little bit more welcoming for sure. The RSI has a more definable pattern. But still not seeing the confluence I want. That moving average isn't being particularly helpful. So let's just switch to another time frame. Now, you might be thinking that I'm trying to find an excuse to trade, but I'm actually trying to find an excuse not to trade if I don't find anything. So look, I'm not seeing anything which is turning this into a or a B plus kind of setup, but there is obviously, we are coming into these demand zones. So there is something there, but you might want to do a little bit more work on it for sure to make sure that you've got the everything in your favor. But the problem is with this, the issue is with this, when the market isn't particularly bullish and we're not getting a lot of follow through, this is a nice pocket. We have buyers. Let me get my marks all out. We've got buyers here. We've got buyers coming on the retest here. Plus, of course, we have confluence with essentially this horizontal line. So that is why we've had a nice strong move. We do not have that here, right? What we do have is this below it, which thinks the buyers are thinking, well, this is where I want to enter, not here. And if the price action does break down, then we've got resistance above us, excuse me. So, this might be you should look at this as a high risk trade. Maybe a scaling in trade, perhaps here, scaling here, and then scaling here, and therefore you're acknowledging the fact that it's not a B setup, that it could potentially go. But if you think about it, what is it going to do to maintain bullish momentum? It's going to put at a higher high, but in order to do that, it's running into this moving average a little bit, right? So there is a play here for sure, but the moving average preferably could have been down here. And don't think just because we had a bounce here that you're going to have a bounce here, because this ultimately is a nice little pocket. But depending on your risk, but the stock is lining up quite nicely, and maybe the play could be, this is quite a simple play. Yeah, okay. So I always check the 15-minute stock. Now we're oversold on the 15-minute RSI. We're oversold on the 15-minute stock, and I've always found that is quite a good indication that we're going to have a reversal. I don't know why the 15 minutes has that much power, but all I know is that I have a rule with it in my trades, and if I'm shorting it, it's got to be oversold, overbought, and if I'm longing it, it's got to be overbought. And we are there, so we do have that confluence now. So, and you can see on the lower time frames, other people have the same idea. So let's call this a B minus setup for people, but that's essentially the play. Anyone see something I'm sure you do. Anyone seeing something I'm not?
No, I mean, like you said, just because it's touched the 2 times doesn't necessarily on the inclined line doesn't necessarily mean that it's, a good spot. But if it touches a 3rd time and curls around, then you're talking.
Right.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
give it a little bit
Plus,
more.
you got the EMA right there too. Can close above that. That'd be nice.
Yeah. So that's the play, but nice, just random chart just pulled out of the ether just to have a quick look at. Just to see my hey, you never know. I might wake up in the middle of the night and decide to trade that because maybe I'm feeling
just as it's there.
Yeah.
So, let me just stop that screen. There we go. But yeah, Vanry, maybe that's a setup. So exclusive for the stream. Thank you very much. You're very welcome.
Right.
No, altcoins, I mean, that's something I don't know a whole lot about. It's definitely on my bucket list. I mean, yeah, it's something I want to jump into a little more. So,
Yeah.
Well, be that all-around trader.
Yeah, it's I think my trading style, I think to quite a lot of traders, like you guys and others is quite, in many respects, a little bit different. And it's only a little bit different because the market's a bit different, and you've got to approach it that way. But it is a lot. What puts people off is they'll find us. They've got traders who know how to set up. They know how to look at a play, but they're not used to this kind of multiple indices looking at them as a barometer, like Bitcoin, Total 3, Bitcoin dominance, and then trying to put all that together as a unified whole to get everything synced up. And it can be really challenging because I try and get everything lined up perfectly. So the stars are aligning and it's like, there we are, we're going. But you can have good trades, they don't. But you just have to recognize that you don't want to be. It's all right, darling. You don't. She's getting bored of my voice. You don't want to be entering trades, long trades, when Bitcoin's at resistance with altcoins. That's just a no-brainer, right? You don't want to be shorting the market when Bitcoin is in the process of bottoming, and that's the most confounding thing to kind of get your head. That's not the right word, to get your head around, because you've got these lovely setups, and you're like, I want to trade this. This is good stuff.
Well, that was me this week, as I showed Michael earlier in the week. I mean, all the major currency pairs were buttoned up against overhead resistance or underneath. If I was going for a short sell,
or ran with news.
Like, dang it! All these are looking great, but everything's in the middle of resistance and support. I can't touch it. I can't break my rule.
Yeah.
And, it's an easy, quick way to lose your money if you do it. Like, I always keep that in mind. Like, I don't care how pretty it looks. It's like that super pretty chick that is not good for you. Just leave it alone. Don't even. Don't even
yeah, but you know how that is. You can't leave it alone. You know that you can't leave it alone. Right?
And that's the hardest part. It's like,
I know I shouldn't be doing this. No, I shouldn't be doing this, but. I know you're gonna break my heart. I know it, but I'm along for the ride, and I'm fine. I'm a willing participant, right? And
but you get that text from the market saying, "Oh, hey, how you been?" Oh, God, no.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I do that.
No.
Well, I can show real quick. I can show a setup I'm looking at on Monday if you guys want to check it real quick.
Yeah, please.
Okay, it's for New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. I'll just do this. We got about 8 minutes. It looks like. Yeah, this is more of a.
If you look at NJ, do you look at AJ also?
Yeah, I look at all of them. I mean, it's like I don't know if I was on the stream with you, but I prefer, because since my favorite time zones is daily 4 hour, a little bit higher time frames. Mm-hmm. I mean, I prefer ATR to be like 80, 90, or 100 or higher. I don't really like to mess around with the stuff that moves slow. But yeah, just now New Zealand Jap. This is barely in my wheelhouse. All the way there on the bottom on the daily, you can see it's 72 pips average, 72.7 pips right in this area. So that's cutting it close, but I did find that I've got a good setup. So New Zealand Japanese yen on my edge finder, just to share this real quick. It is giving me a bullish signal because of the fundamentals, and the sentiment and the technicals right here. Anything 5 or higher is a bullish bias. Anything -5 or lower is a bearish bias. So yeah, from a fundamental and sentiment point of view, I do like that. So if I take a look at my chart, looking at on the, let's see here, I believe that was a 1 hour, 1 hour zone. So I got this last down candle, this last red candle. It looks, there we go. Last red candle for the big jump up. 1, 2, 3, 4.
We're looking at your Edge Finder screen.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is what I was pointing at. So last red candle down before 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green candles up. Pretty good volume coming out of it. So I do like that as a point of interest. Now, when I turn my master pattern on and I go down to a 30-minute, this is what I constantly draw. You like you, Michael, you like to draw your stuff out. So for me, I like to constantly, like if price were still up here, I'll normally do something like this. Come down here, go dance sideways, come up, come down, and then hit my zone to buy to the long. So that's exactly what it's doing. It's that orange box. That's what's called a minor contraction box. So it just needs to come out of that box to the upside, collect some liquidity. Big banks push it down into my zone, collect the liquidity underneath, plus the unfilled orders from the demand zone for a buy to the long side. So that's really my favorite setup going into Monday. Of course, Tuesday, New Zealand's interest rate report comes out, even though it's not scheduled to do anything. They're scheduling to keep it the same. But still, I mean, Australia, they're apparently going to drop their stuff. If they drop it, New Zealand often follows Australia, so it may just turn around and just go all the way through my zone like a hot knife through butter. So definitely, depending on how that shakes out, I may or may not get a New Zealand Jap long on Monday or Tuesday. So, but it all just depends. I'm definitely going to be careful because of those, like we talked about earlier, those hikes that are coming out for the cash rate Monday and then New Zealand. Now, if New Zealand decides to fool us all and raise their stuff, which I doubt they will, then that'll definitely be a awesome looking setup. But just going to look and see how it plays out. But
we are entering that period of obviously the last few months, and this is obviously a global issue with the trade war and everything, and obviously there's a delay between the impact of those decisions and the ambiguity, and we're kind of entering that period of time when things will start to be felt. And I think as a result, with the employment data and stuff which was out in the US this week, is a little bit deceptive. On the face of it, it's looking really good, but the reality is that it's only a small segment which is actually growing. And there are and so if you look at the actual data points, I haven't got the whole report in front of me. I'm sorry, I wasn't very organized today, but there's a lot of that where there's a lot of actually really negative signs for employment. It's just there are certain areas which haven't been impacted yet, and therefore they're growing, but other areas are showing serious issues. And the most important thing, of course, is manufacturing, which is a big part of the administration's aim to there are a few warning signs potentially there, which kind of when you try and look at all these details, it's very easy to be like, just read the headline, right? But when you look under the hood, you can still start to see some of these things coming. So it's going to be very interesting how things play out. And obviously, we all want rates to come down, but we want them to come down appropriately because things are improving.
Exactly.
And I think if other countries do start dropping their rates, it's going to just cause probably more problems, because I think the president of the United States is very keen for the Fed to drop rates too, and if other countries start doing it, it's probably not going to make him very happy. And then
and that's exactly what that's exactly why I like to look at all the reports as an aggregate, because I mean, just looking at the U.S. economic heat map as an example, everything you see in yellow, that's within the last 7 days. So we got one bullish, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've had 7 bullish reports in the last week, but we had one neutral that as far as the services PMI. But I mean, as far as the bearish, we had the wage growth and then ADP. Yeah, that ADP report didn't look too good at all. That was the first negative number we had come out in a long time. I mean, so yeah, but that's just one way of measuring the jobs, right?
Yeah.
We turn around and have the JOLTS job the day before that, which was good. So you got a good, you got a bad. It's been kind of going up and down, but yeah, overall, 50 being the baseline, the U.S. dollar sitting at about a 54% positive. So it's right in the middle. It's kind of like no man's land. It's like, okay, let's wait and see how these upcoming tariffs affect things, and start seeing how this big beautiful bill starts, getting into the market. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see if they cut rates here in July, but it doesn't sound like they're going to. So
I don't know. It feels like they're going to cut the Fed chair first.
Yeah. Yeah. Technically, the president can't do anything about that, but who knows what he's going to do with the Supreme Court, right? If he's going to swindle the Supreme Court to agree to him, I don't know. We'll see. Not to get political on it, but hey, that's the reality. Is you got to know it, you got to understand it, because it affects everything we trade.
Well, it's better you say it than me. Better you say it than me.
Yeah. Especially now, my gosh, with all these news pieces coming out, it's like you get into a great trade and boom, there's one tweet that just throws it for a loop.
Yes, changes everything. Changes everything.
Yeah. Super fun times.
It is keeping us on our toes, huh, Paul?
Yeah, and I'd like to say I'm grateful, but I'm not.
It does make it more difficult. Yeah, but this is why I always say, just great time to just cut your risk down. Your gut will tell you if you've risked too much, and if it does, just cut it in half. Just drop it down.
Yeah,
get some skin in the game, and that's it.
Yeah, it's good advice, and probably the best place to leave it today. I think we've come to the end of our session. My dog is making ridiculous noises at the end. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's great.
I'm trying to close. Do you mind? Wait your turn. Right. So thanks, Robert. Thank you, Lola. Thanks everyone for joining the sessions today. There's no third session, I don't believe, today, but we'll look forward to seeing you all next week. And Michael, apologies for being a bit late.
No, it's good. We made it a good time. Cheers.
Right,
have a great weekend.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Take it easy. Enjoy. All right, Robert, Lola, you guys take it easy. See you next week.
Yep. Enjoy.